familiars out towards the square in the middle ring to watch the execution of Duke Kalen, and the speech the Storm King gave before executing him, and what seemed to be either a threat or some kind of reminder that was whispered into the ear of Aaron Kalen, whose contents is yet unknown. Following that, they managed to secure 4 horses, as promised by the Storm King, with free reign to travel wherever they wanted in the Isle of Strom. On their way to Nazari, the birthplace of the Storm King, whose previous name was Willow's Crossing, but only Mari remembers that. They ran into a familiar face in Dirk Stormfist. Had encountered him along the side of the road. He had been triggered into some kind of like bestial rage for some reason, afflicted with these like twisting, insidious rune markings that were spilling out of a wound in his back, covering his body like tattoos just beneath the skin. It seemed to have driven him to some kind of feral state. He had lashed out and attacked a couple of 2 caravans ferrying supplies towards Nazari. They had defeated Dirk, after some great effort and some heroics from the party, tied him up and proceeded to inflict truly an unreal amount of head trauma onto him in order to keep him sedated from his rage state. Along the way, they had picked up a couple books, they had picked up a couple of wanted posters, one for our good friend Aramis, and another for a mysterious, a very beautiful half-elf woman named Draga Hearth. Along with a copy of King Nazar's autobiography. They arrived in Nazari, booked a couple of rooms in the Tailwind Tavern, met a very nice old lady named Mari who kind of gave them the touristy spiel of like, oh, this is the Storm King's birthplace, and these are the kind of the things that happen there. Leading them to a little bit more context, telling them that Zariel, one of the Windseer that the Storm King had mentioned, had come here to basically recruit the Storm King there, and had met up there in some kind of meeting of adventurers there in that tavern. Some people that we already knew were kind of part of that band, and another mysterious drow that had not been mentioned up until this point. They had discovered that Aramis had tried to activate or done something to the Eye of the Storm, which caused Priscilla's latent magic stored inside of it to lash out at him, a bolt of lightning destroying most of that room. They had slept in 2 little cramped hotel inn rooms after a night of drinks and some debate over whether they should send a really late "you up" sending to the Red Wraith, supposedly from the Storm King, and saying, I yearn for you still. That didn't happen, unfortunately, but I wish that it had, just out of sheer hijinks. And at the end of the night, during the first watch over Dirk, Andros Axbane, your good friend and weapons master aboard the Reaper, vanished in a puff of black smoke as he finally fell asleep outside of the Reaper's bounds, too far away from it. We're gonna actually cut back in to that same night. We're not gonna leave that night just yet. After Andros disappears, what do you guys do in that moment? Do you guys all kind of go back to sleep, or what are you guys up to?
Well, at the end of last time, I had sent him a sending basically being like, "You're
Right.
back on the Reaper, you good?" And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Yeah." And then I think I had said that I would stay up for to keep Dirk watch.
Cool. You stay up. You keep. Everybody else kind of goes back to sleep, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Sure. Suma, as you take the first watch, you're an elf. You don't need to transfer that long. You take some of the load off, and you're very martially proficient. You kind of do you guys just like sit there and watch, or do you do any of the reading of the books that you guys had, or do you just kind of like keep an eye on Dirk?
Um, Yeah, does Dirk seem like he's like knocked out or asleep at this point?
Yeah, you after a little bit, some time has passed since the last time you guys knocked him out. Uh,
Yeah.
you see, actually, it seems. So you see, you sit there keeping diligent watch, and Dirk kind of shudders awake. But you can tell that he isn't immediately attempting to like
Mhm.
break his bonds or restraint or like his restraints or anything like that. He just sits there, hunched against the flat wall of the room separating yours and Rel and Ruby's room on the other side. And you can tell there's like he's like fighting it, whatever is like infected him or has cursed him and whatever it was. He's like attempting to fight it, and he looks up. He catches your eye as you're like, your eyes are trained right at it. He catches your eye and he says, "Kill me. You better kill me now. I can't fight it for longer. Please."
Let me take a look. Um, I'd like to approach him
Yeah, you approach him and
and
you can tell he's like trying his best
yeah,
not to let this like take over and like lunge at you or try to break his bonds.
yeah.
What kind of check are you trying to like do like a perception
Um,
check on how he is, like an arcana check on how the curse is progressing or anything like that?
yeah, I think it's probably Arcana. I'm trying to look at him and take a look again at the runes, and see if I can figure out anything else. Because I've been also looking at this curse book, which probably isn't relevant to his exact situation, but
Yeah.
yeah, like how it's progressing, if it's possible for him to fight it, that kind of thing.
I would like you to just make an arcana check for sure.
Sure.
Oh, nat 20 on the first roll.
Ooh.
You very quickly kind of like go on both sides of Dirk, taking in the wounds have like spread further throughout his body, and you get kind of a better picture of them. And this reminds you, you had kind of like flipped past some of the illustrations, um, in the book of divine curses, and you recognize kind of the shape. It's not like a one-to-one match, but you feel very strongly based on what you've seen of Dirk and based on what you read in this book that this specific curse that was put on him likely was has something to do with Xandus, the god of death and destruction. You look on, so like there's certain things where it's like a curse from this god might look something like this and might have some kind of effect. And this sort of like patterning to the runes, these like kind of spiky, kind of like twisting and jagged runes like snaking across him, definitely kind of lines up with some of the inscriptions or like kind of examples that the author of this book had like inscribed. With that nat 20, I would say that this doesn't seem to be a curse that can be dispelled. It doesn't just wear off over time. If anything, you get the sense that it might get stronger over time and
Mhm.
likely cannot be dispelled except with like a specific maybe like a powerful remove curse spell or something like that, or by having the person who put
Yeah.
it on him dispel it, or perhaps if it's linked to an object, have that be destroyed.
Could I tell? Because I know I had asked Ruby before if she had the remove curse spell. Do I think that magic would work if she used it on the curse?
Yeah, definitely. You feel like a good remove curse spell would probably do the trick here.
Okay, good, good. Um, I'm not gonna put you down for the count yet, Dirk, but if it comes to that, we'll do what's necessary. In the meantime, you should tell me everything about what happened to you.
He kind of like grits his teeth, goes, "Don't remember much. Had a fight. I couldn't remember what they looked like, but they were fast, strong, and when and you can see he's about to revert back. And so I will say you probably are able to quickly boom
Mhm.
sedate him again, uh,
Yeah.
and knock him out for a little bit. longer.
Is there a dent forming?
It's a different spot each time, right?
He's a
like
very thick skull. He has a very
oh
thick skull.
oh okay. I'm just saying
Yeah.
this
Also, do you have to do it
football
twice each
players
time
have
because
to
he's a
worry
half
about
orc?
this. Oh, that's true.
Well, he needs a long rest
I-
every time.
Oh,
so.
that's true.
He's not
He
had
has
a
not
long
had a long
rest.
rest. No,
At
certainly
all.
not.
Um,
Oh
uh,
lordy, poor
Excellent.
guy.
So I will say that for the rest of your watch, Dirk is stable and unconscious. Did I already volunteer for the next watch on Dirk?
Hmm?
Who's the next person who's probably gonna watch it? If you guys are gonna, I'll say probably one more person. Cool. I'm gonna say Gallet, you're asleep right now. You just knocked the fuck out.
I was
I
drunk.
try to
man.
wake Gallet up and it does not work.
Yeah.
Suma said I could go to sleep after Andros disappeared, so I
did,
immediately
yeah.
went.
Interestingly, Gallet. Yeah, go ahead, baby.
I was just gonna say, if no one else is awake, you could always wake me. Softies need their sleep. I can take watch.
This is true.
Alok would like to sleep. So.
Okay,
Got
I poke the lads and softly knock on Ruby's door.
Yeah, Ruby, you hear that knock. Ruby, as you awaken to Suma's knocking, you look over across the room, Rel, and he seems to also be having very fitful dreams. Just kind of in his bed. He's not like he's like kind of bumbling and like moaning in like not a kind of a strained way.
I'll open the door first to let Suma in, but then I'll probably stop by Elle and just kind of like poke him. Face.
You poke him. You like poke him once. He goes, "No, please, please." He's like does that very very quickly, and then he goes silent again, and then kind of returns back to his normal sleeping. To your knowledge, he's been kind of doing this cycle for a while. You can make an insight check here if you like.
Wait, like you mean he's been doing it like tonight, or like just like it's just his regular routine? Like,
Make an insight check. On a 14, Rel has mentioned in his dreams watching the Red Wraith kill him over and over again. You
right.
presume that this is probably what he's dreaming about right now, why he seems to be in so much distress as he sleeps. But yeah, Suma, Ruby, you relieve Suma of the watch. Suma, you can trance in this room if you like.
I wouldn't recommend this room. It's not very peaceful. He screams every 5 minutes or so. A little distracting.
Don't worry, I've dealt with nightmares before. I think we'll be fine.
Cool. Ruby, as you relieve Suma of his watch, you watch over Dirk. He doesn't say much. He doesn't do much except one time. At some point, you hear him say, "Hey, pretty lady," as he's knocked out.
After I hear that, I take. Is there like a quill? Okay, I'm thinking of like when you doodle on someone's face, but like there's no markers. So like, is there like a quill nearby?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I will say you look around, you see that Andros left all his stuff. All of his stuff is still there. Anything that wasn't like, immediately on his person is still here. So you see there's like a bunch of scrolls of what seems to be a research written in a language you've never seen before, as well as a private journal in a language you don't really recognize, as well as some supplies for writing. So you can go ahead and doodle on Dirk's face. What do you draw?
Huh.
Are we going for the obvious dick, or are we going a little more extravagant?
No. That's too uncouth for Ruby.
Got it.
I don't know. I'll put like Storm King's bitch.
Make a sleight of hand check for me. On a 6, you write it successfully. It's just the handwriting isn't great. It looks like you just kind of did this all over. It's
not a smooth surface.
It's like Storm King's bitch, kind of like across his whole face has become a billboard. But yeah, in your watch, Dirk is unresponsive, and Suma did a number on it. However, kind of as that's going, Gallet, as you go back to sleep following Andros's disappearance, you dream at first of being back on Captain Greenhive's ship, rigging the sails with Aliceris, him teaching you how to fish and how to, set up the sails. And as you're kind of in this wonderful dream of what has come and gone, Captain Greenhive's ship and you splits apart very suddenly, split in half, and you watch as your fellow sailors like running around, scrambling to put everything together, and you watch the giant tidal wave comes up, flattens what is remains of the ship and the entire crew. You sink deep, deep into the ocean. And you don't really have a sense of how far you fall or how long it is. It's like time loses meaning. You're not really sure how long you sink in this endless depths, but light disappears, loses all meaning as you're surrounded by darkness and the pressure and icy coldness of the sea on all sides of you pressing against you. And then two lights appear in the distance, and you hear Gallant. As Calypso, your patron, kind of sifts sword in the water, her hair wild and free, dressed in this kind of, it looks like a robe that is made from the remains of like a ship's flag that has been fashioned into a robe that has been torn and ripped to shreds. She sifts towards you and she says, I watched your fight.
Oh,
You impressed me.
I did. I immediately have a flashback of me saying, "Look at this," and as I failed to do something and just hold on pathetically. Yes, I was quite amazing in that fight, wasn't I?
Well, that bit was not as impressive as the others, but you took a blow for one of your crewmates.
I've done that many times, though. That's honestly, at this point, it's actually dangerous for me to wear the earring. I think Ruby's doing this on purpose. It's literally Ruby each time.
Danger is part of a captain's life. If you wish to become the greatest sailor that you can be, the greatest captain that you can be, you will have to grow accustomed to personal danger. I just wanted to check in and say that I am impressed. It seems you've taken my words to heart.
Well, I do well with criticism. But, while I have you here, we've been running through many things, hearing tales of a previous party group that you were apparently a part of. And I was just wondering, why is it the Red Wraith was with you before?
He found the ring the same way that you did, and everybody else before the two of you. And she raises her hands once again, and kind of like these like bioluminescent, like kind of maybe like anglerfish or like some kind of other fish, kind of light up in the distance, and you see you are in a massive graveyard of scuttled ships on the seafloor, with all these previous sailors who thought that they were up to the mettle of surviving Calypso's challenge. And she says, he found the ring. He made his wishes. As a reward for the bravery that you showed, would you like to know one of them?
I'd like to know his last one.
His last one? You sure about that?
Insight! Was she trying to be helpful with that? Or is she doing like, the game show host? Like, I definitely got the right one, but it's like, are you sure?
You switch because one of these is a goat. On a 9, Calypso has always been a trickster and definitely uh, uh, likes to play pranks on, not maybe not pranks, but kind of mislead people. You can't really get a beat on exactly what's going through her right now.
Yeah, the last one.
One second. I need to make sure I get this correct.
It's okay. Calypso's bringing out her notes. It's in a little ship's bottle. Like
yes. You wished for a ship faster, more powerful than any other ship ever made, that could rise and sink beneath the waves at will, that could never be destroyed, and in fact able to repair itself and even grow larger using the wreckage of other ships. I created the ship, and I had the prow of it stab him through the chest, killing him. He never said how to give it to him, or just to have it exist. It was given to him, in a way. That was his wish. And that is your question answered.
his 2 other wishes must have been a doozy then, if he survived that.
Perhaps in time you will earn the right to know the other 2.
I don't
Good
think
luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, Gambit.
Yeah.
And she recedes back into kind of the darkness of the ocean as one by one the lights wink out and you're again alone in the cold, frigid expanse of deep ocean. As you are here, maybe kind of as Ruby is entering the room, you something kind of jolts you awake very briefly. Make I'm not sure if you would actually be able to sense this. Make an Arcana check for me.
Oh, are you kidding me? I am the most magical, wise individual in the group.
On a 19, you feel that your connection to Feels has been severed. She has been unmade or destroyed.
Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna immediately take out 10 gold and start the ritual.
Ruby, you kind of watch as Gallat arises and does that. I will say, things kind of pass. Probably that commotion that Ruby made is going to happen at the same time as you waking up, and you recast Find Familiar. Time passes and Feels reappears.
Buddy, what happened?
It got like really dark in the forest. Like it's like nighttime, but then it got like weird. Like I could feel like I have a connection to like nature and stuff because of what I am, and it felt like nature became really wrong for a second. I was at the village and I was kind of watching them, and then I don't know. I think once everything went bad, I started feeling like the forest was angry, or that there was like anger in the forest, and then I got attacked, and then now I'm here.
Definitely weird. Would I have any type I've heard like some legends as a sailor, and I'm interested in nature, so would I have heard any kind of legend about something similar to this? Where the forest gets angry? I know there's a lot, but like...
Go ahead and make a history check.
History.
On a 13, in general, there are some folklorish legends that are typically have some kind of protector spirit or guardian being that watches over individual forests. Maybe growing up in Lockie, you heard of some of the forests there. Like people think that there's like a spirit that watches over that forest specifically. And you figure if there's going to be some kind of like a forest community that believes in a spirit that watches over the whole thing, the Village of the Wind would probably be a good candidate for that. And perhaps if there is a spirit like that, and that thing were angry, that could possibly have produced what feels encountered in her soul, traveling in the forest of the wind.
Who's awake right now?
Ruby is keeping watch. Alok is in the room with you. Suma and Rel are in the opposite room.
I'm sure I would have heard your whole
Yeah.
conversation.
Oh yeah, I assume she's
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
same
yeah.
room.
Yeah, definitely Ruby. Yeah.
Hey Ruby, there's some kind of you heard that with feels, right? What?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's. Did you see anyone suspicious? You said you were at the village. Were there people there yet?
Yeah, there were people. They had just like arrived at kind of like their secondary spot in their little pilgrimage or whatever, and they were like setting stuff up, and there were like kids running around, um, um, and then everything kind of went weird. You know, they had like a fire going, and they were like singing songs and stuff like that, and I was like, this is super cute. I love this. And then everything got dark, and then I started seeing shadows everywhere, and then I turned around and something killed me.
You know, yeah, maybe I should be. Yeah, that's.
You were flying at the time? Something killed you when you were in the air?
I was perched on a branch, kind of like watching and spying. I didn't even hear it approach. It must have been super quiet.
Yeah, I'm gonna check in with Rel to see if he knows anything.
Sure. Do you wake everybody else up, or are you just doing Rel?
No, there's no need to wake everyone else up right now.
Cool. Alok, if you want, you can have been woken up by this conversation that's just, been taking place.
Alok's out of it. He's sleeping.
Okay, you're out of it. Cool.
Yeah.
You go over to Rel's room. You see he's like clutching his stomach as if he has been stabbed there in his dream, like he's like pantomiming it. Please, I don't know what you want from me. And then you shake him awake, and he goes,
It's okay. We're good.
He like, puts his hand on your shoulder, and he goes, what is it, Captain?
Field was killed in a way. While she was at the current wind village everyone was at, and it seemed from what she felt, the forest itself got angry. She felt, and some kind of shadow killed her. And everyone was around a fire doing a dance, singing songs, and I was wondering, would you happen to have any information on this? I know it's a bad time of the night for you right now.
He closes his eyes for a second, and you feel a very faint, weak wind kind of like wash over him, and his eyes like flutter open. He says, Captain, could you please reach in my bag right over there?
Okay.
You reach in. First thing you grab is his Windseer's cloak, made of the same material that you've seen Valere and the Storm King, wear. You pull it out, and it doesn't look the same as it used to. It looks like flat. It looks like black and like weirdly like infected somehow. It looks dead.
Dude, you gotta wash this. This is getting mossy.
He like shies away from it. He says, please wake the others. I fear that something very terrible has happened.
It feels wakes the others. Everyone,
okay, cool.
Tell everyone to join in here.
Everyone gets woken up, gets taken into the room. Suma, you were already in there. Probably were able to hear kind of what was happening. Rel
drag Dirk over there as well.
Hell yeah, just yeah. You're very strong. Dirk is fucking massive. You guys gather in Aurelius' room. And he looks at you guys and he says, there's something that you must know about the Village of the Wind. If what I fear has happened, it could be extremely, extremely dangerous. Did any of you ever wonder what the wind cloaks were made out of?
Cloth.
I figured. Wait, you mean like the cloaks themselves or the people?
The cloaks.
I just
themselves.
thought it was cloth. Thought it was a symbol.
The skin of other wind seers.
Yeah, so
Ugh.
you guys had seen them before, and they would kind of like there's like this weird translucent material with like it looked like it was kind of like moving in and of itself, and he says, "There is a race of creatures, sentient beings that live within the force of the wind. We call them the Weavers. They are spider folk, very peaceful and very kind. Um, They, too, possess a similar affinity for the wind as we do. It is their silk, which is what we use to create the cloaks which channel our abilities. When the Wind Elves first settled in the Village of the Wind, before we were blessed with these abilities, we developed a symbiotic relationship with these creatures. And in order to coexist, we conduct the pilgrimage so that certain parts of the forest remain unimpeded by us and left to the weavers to use for their own needs. That is part of why we conduct our pilgrimage, that we don't. So we were rotating around and sharing the space. In this relationship, the weavers agreed to give us their silk in order to help us harness our own latent abilities. But the function of these cloaks are dependent on these creatures' survival. Were they to be destroyed, these cloaks would disintegrate completely. Were they to be corrupted in some way, so would our cloaks. And so I fear, seeing this, that may be what has happened. I cannot sense anything in the direction of the village. Not anymore.
Like no life?
No wind. At least none that is friendly to me.
I don't know if this is related, but in asking Dirk what happened to him, and examining his wounds, does an entity by the name of Xandus ring any bells to you?
I will say, Suma, you probably kind of actually, Suma, make a religion check.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how much religious lore Suma knows. 19, quite a bit. In the beginning of all things, the first two gods that were created were Celestia, the goddess of light and life, and Xandus, the god of death and destruction. They were born, have been in kind of eternal conflict, but through their clashing, the world was created. That's kind of like one of the general creation myths. It is said that in olden times, Ela was one great big continent, kind of a Pangea type situation, and that everybody there lived in kind of one homogenous lump of culture. Xandus looked upon Ela and deemed that its people had grown wicked and deserving of destruction, and so Xandus raised his sword and attempted to slay all life on the continent. At this time, the wolf goddess Laki jumped in the way of the blow, having taken a liking to the fierce spirit of these sentient beings, of these these humans, of these people, and was struck down by Xandus' sword. It is the reason why, and it is said that Laki fell to the ground and became the dog-shaped island that it is now, wolf-shaped, and that this impact of the sword is what separated all the islands away from each other in this vast sea. Xandus is considered to be a very, some would consider him an evil god, one that relishes in destruction and death and rage and violence, and some may see him as part of a necessary cycle. Perhaps those of the faith of Terminus might see Xandus as a necessary counterpart to Celestia, but others may see him as pure evil, or just bad in general. That is what you know about Xandus prior to asking this question.
The curse that was put on Dirk has something to do with the divine power of Xandus. I don't know
Xandus?
how much you know, but a god of death and destruction.
Oh no, I know Xandus. Just hearing that again is just weird.
Again, have we heard it before? Have you heard it before?
Oh, my father was a believer in lackeys, so
Oh.
I just yeah.
I
That's
I don't know how to put that together with anything, and maybe it's not related, but it did point to some entity being out there that wounded and cursed Dirk in this way. So there's definitely something dark out in those woods, and I wonder if it could be related.
did we all get a full night's rest, or would we have to sleep a bit more until we're fully rested?
I would say you'd have to sleep a bit more to be fully rested. This is kind of happened in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see Rel goes, I think perhaps I should not join you deep into the forest, but I will accompany you as far as I can. I'm sure that if we just rest a couple more hours, we'll be ready to handle whatever might happen in there, but you will not have my foresight or my guidance.
As long as you're safe, then it'll be fine. But still, why would I just can't put together why any of this would be happening right now?
No.
What advantage would there be to making wind cloaks not have wind cloaks? Just weakening wind cloaks in general?
They would be hard-pressed to be able to contain their latent powers. The ritual that kind of breaks in a young wind elf into the order is they come before one of the weavers, the web mother, the leader of the clan, and beseech them for their guidance and their blessing. Before that moment, our powers are often wild and uncontrolled. We cannot control it by ourselves, and so we must always be around other windcloaks, perhaps our forefathers and foremothers, to contain the wind around us so that we don't destroy things on accident. We would be hard-pressed to, say, sail a ship or lead an army or divert danger were we unable to channel them in this way.
I can think of a few reasons why followers of perhaps the Red Wraith wouldn't want a community of Windcloaks to be able to harness their powers anymore. They would be powerful allies against him if they so choose to be.
I know for a fact that shortly when I was at the court of King Nazaire, he had requested the strongest Windcloak warriors from our village to attend his court and to be part of his navy and his army. It is likely that the village now is much less well defended than it might have been before, so I can see some kind of intervention happening by a bad party, undetected.
Why did Aramis start going to the Windcloak village? Did we ever figure out why? Why he decided that specific move?
I feel like something was said. I feel like we had an idea. I don't know what though.
I think you guys just had theories in general.
Okay,
I don't know that
maybe.
you've necessarily determined
Yeah.
why.
Mm.
Cool. I'm gonna say, kind of like as that settles down, you guys, kind of like tentatively, a little bit more trepidation or perhaps a sense of foreboding as to what is to come. Try your best to get back to sleep. And perhaps a little bit more like I need to be ready for what might happen up ahead. You guys go to sleep in a very tense, dreamless, almost like blacked out kind of sense of rest. You guys awaken at early dawn in the inn. Ruby and Alok, I assume you guys do your morning prayers. Alok probably wakes up before everybody else at the precise moment. But dawn breaks for his prayers. You see Rel gets up. He seems kind of shaken. like leaves his wind cloak in his bag, which he was doing before to keep hidden. Reapplies the makeup that you had provided for him. And you guys kind of get all your stuff. Is there anything last minute things you want to do kind of in the rooms? What do you do with Andros and stuff?
Let's
These
take it.
big pants. He left the pants. Everything that was not him.
Why did he have them off in the
his
first
clothes
place?
came, everything directly
Oh.
on him. Yeah.
Okay.
Just like
It
his
sounded
backpack
like
with his like research and stuff and private journal are still in there.
things he didn't sleep with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can just bring it with us.
We can, or we can. Well, we can maybe leave the books and stuff with Rel when.
Oh yeah. I
Let's put up.
assume Rel will be the pack mule.
That's fine. I probably am not good for much else at the moment. I'm in a stir, essentially.
So what are we gonna do with Mr. Constantly needs to be knocked out every 3 hours?
Probably knock him out every 3 hours, I guess.
Are we bringing him?
You can try to remove
Well,
the curse.
yeah, I think the idea was
Yes,
this
please.
morning
Oh,
we
yeah,
fix it,
yeah.
and then we can go on without him. So
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a remove curse?
Yes, I prepared that spell.
does that
No,
require
you want to use
components? I don't know if it consumes anything.
I'll put it in the chat.
Nope. Okay.
Hell yeah. You just verbal and somatic. You approach Dirk, and kind of everybody in the room kind of watches as this happens. You all feel like a big whoosh, kind of go throughout the room. You feel like static electricity, like the skin, the hair on your arms and your forearms and the back of your neck kind of stand up. Your hair poofs out a little bit as like a surge of like electricity kind of wafts through the room. And Ruby, you raise your hands towards him. And you see a divine light shoot out like a bolt of lightning, like Palpatine style, like into Dirk. And you can
You're
see
killing him!
as it's like he like lights up, like his eyes like shoot like out, like light is coming out of them, like when has everyone seen Avatar: The Last Airbender? Finished it?
Yeah.
Like when Aang takes away the Fire Lord's airbending, bending, like the light shoots out of his eyes.
Whoa, spoiler warning, God.
I literally asked. Okay. And you watch as the tattoos, the rune inscription, snake their way back, kind of like away from his body, and like kind of like you see them go towards the point in his back, and you watch as his body just like. He looks up at you, Ruby, and he says, "Did you fix me?"
Morning, sunshine. I'm not sure. I like. Can I just disrobe him real quick?
Disrobe him? Yeah, go for it. You see, he actually, when you do that, he stands up and just breaks out of the shackles, like the rope and stuff. And then immediately you like attempt to go towards him to disrobe him, and he immediately drops to one knee and says, "You are the most remarkable woman I have ever met. I knew I felt something back there at the ball. Will you marry me?"
Cool it, Dirk.
There's no way I can be wrong about this one. I think he likes her.
Well, I don't know, Alok, because the thing is, he's been suffering massive head trauma.
That's a good point.
Recently. So, is he right? Is he in right of mind?
I think she likes him back too.
Wait, we're skipping over something. Ruby, you can do that? You can just do that?
What? What?
You just shocked the curse away. When could you do that?
I just learned. I think.
You just learned?
Oh.
Yeah, a few days ago.
We should have done this with Andrew. Oh my god. Can you just take the curse from everyone?
No, no.
No, because we discussed that one. I'm pretty sure that's beyond her power. So it's like from a god.
Same thing with Miela. I don't think I could just.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you can't.
Also, Miela's not cursed. That's just who she is.
No, we're trying to give her a curse.
That's just she's inherently extremely magical. It's like a gift that is a curse, kind of. That's kind of her deal. Which is why I think the Suma thing. I think she said something along the lines of,
I think maybe she used it as a euphemism and I took it very literally or something.
Yeah. It's more.
Got it.
So Dirk is kind of healed. He stands up. He takes off his shirt. Fucking bulging. He's yoked. And he's especially cut too, like dehydrated, like bodybuilders, because he's been living in the woods in the past day. He's just been in and out of consciousness. He looks at himself, free of the rune marks. He says, "That was something." Hey, looks up at the rest of you. That was a damn good fight. I could kind of see glimpses of it. That was pretty good. Did I scare you when I popped back up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love doing that. Sometimes when I'm fighting pirates and stuff like that for control and stuff like that, sometimes I let myself get killed at first on purpose, and they think, "Oh my God, Dirk's dead," and then I come back up like, "No, he's not," and then I pummel him.
I turn to Ruby and I just say, "I think it worked."
Wait, is he naked though?
He has a vague hulky loin, when the Hulk hulks out and becomes Bruce Banner again, like a strip of loincloth kind of from his pants. Why are you asking? I need to know why you're asking.
Well, no, I just wanted to set the scene.
No, he's not naked. He's very close to naked.
Really trying to disrobe him, really effectively.
Because we don't know how far the runes go. We just need to be sure.
I don't want there to be some. To see his butt? Is it worth it? I feel like we risk the fight.
Also, it helps me get in character because Ruby's probably like, yeah, I think
yeah. Yeah, he's definitely not shy, and he's kind of just like, God, I feel better than I have for a long time. I don't remember much of what happened the past couple days. Where did you go after the party? I don't remember what we did.
We said goodnight. You were a perfect gentleman.
Right, I remember being angry at you, but I don't remember why I was angry at you.
Oh, because we had to say goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna ask for a persuasion roll because he's very disoriented right now. And he says, he kind of gets serious for a moment, and he says, "Thank you, truly, for fixing me. Sorry that I kind of beat you guys up a little bit. I wasn't really in control. I don't know what that was. I just remember being in a fight, losing, which is not something that often happens to me. A sword, metal, stab it into my back. And then just anger, I guess. Bits and flashes of the fight. I should probably report back to the king. He'll be expecting me."
Dirk, there is something that has come up rather recently.
Yeah, what's up?
Hi, I'm the captain. This crew, there's Ruby over here.
Yeah, I've never met you. Yeah, who are these people? These your friends? Also, you look a bit different from the ball now that I think about it. You smell the same, though.
A little shorter.
Yeah, a little shorter. Not a bad thing. You look great. I think the beard looks really nice. I like the braid that you put in it today. It's very,
yeah.
All right, what was the question?
We're the B5.
Yeah.
There's only 4 of you. Brella's in his room.
You can count?
Well, we have a bat. And
you have a bat. I mean, that makes sense, right? That's probably what the B stands for.
Yeah.
5.
Well, that too.
But he knows his letters and his numbers? This is
all right, stay on track, guys.
Real.
There's a Wind Cloak village that's probably been attacked. And I assume, since you're the right-hand man, right, Derek? You're pretty important?
Yeah. I mean,
obviously.
I don't want to say right hand, more if the Imperial Army is kind of like the Emperor's, the King's sword, I'm kind of like a poison dagger strapped to his thigh. You know what I mean? Kind of comes out real sneaky like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Back on the. Stay with me, Dirk. A
Mhm, yeah.
Windcloak village might have been attacked. Windcloaks aren't working. It seems.
Oh, that sounds bad.
Yeah. So we were gonna go over there and see what's been happening, and well, you know, we did relatively well against you, but if we had the Dirk Stormfist help us out, I feel like that would just make everything a lot smoother. You could report back to the king after everything's been taken care of.
Well, I'd love to, but if I don't report back to the king kind of immediately, he's already kind of been looking for me for a while. He'll probably kill me.
Oh, we can do that. We can do that for you. Sumas can do that.
Also, I don't know what it is, but my head really hurts.
Ah, you're fine. You're imagining it. You're good. There's other things to be more. We got stuff to do, Dirk.
Like there's 3 of you right now. Go ahead and make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Ignore the
How this guy
possibly
just proposed.
life-threatening to
I've gone back to the king.
Bob.
Jesus Christ. You see Dirk goes, right, okay, so
We can have Suma talk for you. Like he can. I'm sorry. He can use ascending spell, which basically goes infinite distance, and Suma knows how to talk to the king. Like Suma has met the king, so we should be fine.
I will warn you, the last person who used sending on the king without his express consent kind of got a bounty put on their head. He doesn't really like it when people.
How big
kinda
is the
talk to him.
bounty?
I think last time it was like 1,000 gold just for bothering him.
That's not that much. I think we can handle that.
You see, the king is kind of like very much like a don't talk to me unless I talk to you kind of guy. I feel like sending kind of ticks him off, but I mean, you could do what you want.
I mean, it's
obviously.
the Windcloak village. I assume that is of highest priority. What would he do in war? You know, like, oh, you can't message me. Got to message my lackeys instead. Like that's a bit.
An important issue. Yeah.
You
pretty
see,
important.
he says, "Look, I have orders, and I'm not going to disobey them. Okay? However, since you all helped me out, I'm gonna help you out. There's a stash in this city that the Windcloaks use, of the Imperial Knights. You just have to dig at this one spot, and he kind of like tells you where it is. You'll find some supplies and rations there that'll probably help you in your endeavors. However, you're very persuasive, Mr. Captain. Not that I know your name.
It's Galatabate.
My fealty is to the Storm King. It don't matter what anybody else says. But what you found in there should be of great help."
Thank you.
And then he starts doing like his morning stretches, just like almost naked. And then kind of goes,
Oh, by the way, if you need to get dressed at all, I'll take some of Andras's pants. Toss them over.
Telling you, Chino, he lost the pants.
"Oh, hell yeah! These are actually like really wow. You know, very rare to find pants in my size. These are great."
A little hairy on the inside. Like
Yeah, might be itchy. But
Yeah, I'm used to that actually.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of like furs and stuff. I used to, I grew up in the mountains of Laki. Like,
really?
a lot
Another lucky
yeah,
people.
yeah, a lot of half orcs come from Laki. There's a big orcish population kind of lives up in the mountains over there. That's where I descended. That whole thing, and then easy being green and whatnot. And you can tell that his brain injuries have definitely done something to him.
I'm not at all clocking that. I assume this is what he's like. I've never met the man. I've never met the man.
He sort of was like this.
A little
Yeah.
bit less friendly though. I think he's a lot more friendly now.
yes.
that's
Well, it's also probably
Well,
saved
yeah,
his
Ruby
life.
saved. Yeah, Ruby saved his life.
Also, Ruby saved his life. And he goes, make sure you check out that cache. Probably good for you. I bid you all a good day. And
Wait.
is that a hug?
Oh no,
Okay.
no. I was like, wait.
He was like, I thought this screams hug to me a little bit.
I thought that's what it was too.
She's a dwarf, so that's like small person hug, right? Like that's not a big person hug.
You're right. Yeah, what was it, darling?
Don't call me that.
Okay.
Do you know how long you were wandering around in that state? Or
In that state, maybe like a day and a half. It's kind of a blur.
Like,
1 second. I need to double check something logistically.
so there's a kitty behind you, Liz.
I know, right? I've been being super quiet, but like Hello Kitty.
The cat can't make
So
up its mind. It keeps
pretty.
leaving and coming back.
I'm a little bit upset the
I'm
cat's not looking at the camera.
cat sitting right now, so this
Oh.
is not mine, but
Oh,
So
he's
cute.
so pretty.
The festival took place on the 14th of this month, Belada. Which means that you guys got your boons the same day, the 14th, which means the 15th was the day you guys departed. Which means today is the 16th. So Dirk is saying he was already kind of infected by the curse probably like a day and a half ago. So around the same time as you guys were kind of doing the festival, is kind of when I guess it would be more like 2 days ago, since it's like a full day after now. Yes. Just to make that clear.
You really got lost then. After the fog cloud.
Well,
after what? The what cloud?
What?
Doesn't that mean that
even in the forest? That's actually weird if you think about it. Just being. Wow.
Did we think that it was Aramis that did this to him? Because I don't think the time would add up then, if that were the case.
Well, we don't know where Aramis has been, really.
Well, yeah, but if Aramis left, like if he ditched to this village right after the thing, he'd be ahead of him.
There may have been a very small moment in time where right before they left on the carriage, he went over, found him in the forest, stabbed him, and then left.
Yeah, but the timing would mean that he got like drugged or cursed up like during the festival. So it would have been hours after. So I don't think it could have.
Probably not Aramis.
Yeah.
I will.
It was the ring.
Maybe. I will remind you guys that Duke Kalen's manor is outside of the city of Palestrom. Hence why it was a whole carriage ride to get there. So it's like a few miles away from Palestrom. So the idea that the forest is not like within the bounds of the city of Palestrom. The forest that he got lost in was outside of that, where the shrine was. So in theory, it has happened. He got cursed, roamed around in the woods, happened to go in a direction that intersected the road, like about halfway between Palestrom and Nazari. Kind of got there over the course of a day and a half. Just like walking, and he's a very athletic dude. In a feral state, probably was running or bounding from tree to tree. Just as a logistical thing, as to kind of what probably happened there.
And he was stuck in that area or not stuck, but he was like circling that area for like a little while.
I suppose then it could have been Aramis who maybe did it to slow anyone who pursued him down. Maybe.
That seemed like a really iffy plan, but it's also Aramis, so that he could have still gone with it. But still, this is Suma. I assume you've checked some of our crewmates' curse out. Does this give a did theirs give a Xandis vibe? This seems a lot different.
The ring frame? You mean the curse on the like Andros and Simon and whatnot?
Yeah.
Did I get a Xandis vibe?
This feels a lot.
I feel like no.
This feels a lot.
No. Make an insight check for me. Any of you.
Sure.
Oh, I'm always gonna kill this.
How do you spell it? Is it Zandis?
With a U.
Yeah.
Zand are us.
15. Alok actually perfect. That you got the 15 because Alok The books. Andros specifically said he wanted to look at books that would help him figure out what was going on with his curse. The books that he got were divine curses in a book specifically on the god Terminus, which it kind of like putting those things together. At least you believe that Andros believes this is kind of a Terminus thing and not a Xanus thing.
Okay.
If you were to hazard a guess, from what you know, I will say definitely with that insight, not a Xanus thing. Cool. I want to say, as you're kind of having this discussion, you guys pack up your stuff, you get ready for the next day, you go down. You see Mari is like cleaning a glass, and she's like, "Oh, leaving so soon." Well, dearies, that will be 2 gold pieces for both rooms for the night and all the food that you had and the drinks last night. So if you would go ahead and be a dear. I don't know.
I got it.
How much did she say? Was it 2 gold?
2 gold.
Yes, 2 gold.
I'll
It's a modest inn.
I'll give one of those gold.
That's a steal for that price.
Wonderful, wonderful. I feel like I never get these prices correct. Every time I give a price, it's like too high or too low.
I don't care. Just whatever.
Well, they're screwing you over. It works.
I googled the thing, and it said 1 gold piece for like a modest stay at an inn for a night. I don't know.
That might include like food and drink, right?
Yeah.
Because 1 gold's a lot.
Yeah, it includes food and drink.
That's fair.
And it's 2 rooms as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys fed Andros and Rel as well. Well, now, I don't know where are you all off to after this? Anything exciting?
We got some exciting stuff ahead of us, but it's all hush hush.
Oh,
we'll probably be heading back this way, and we'll let you know.
Well, don't forget to pay your respects to the statue of the Storm King.
Oh,
okay, take care now.
By the way, the person that we had, they're totally fine now. They're not a wanted criminal. Bye.
Oh, who? And you see Dirk is finally like starts bounding down the stairs, like just addled. Kind of walks by, completely shirtless, waves at Mari, and turns to the rest of you, and he says, "Listen, if what you said is true, I don't think you gotta contact the Storm King about it. If something is fucking with the village, he'll know. If something is fucking with Windcloaks, he'll know. So, maybe if you guys end up being in any sort of trouble, getting in any danger, you could maybe just stay put. I'm sure he'll be sending Imperial soldiers pretty soon. But, I got my orders, so I'm gonna head out. You all take care. And, Miss Emerald, consider my offer. It still stands so long as I do.
Ooh, that's a line.
And he walks out, bending his head to get through the doorway. Awesome. You guys.
That was on Ruby.
Yeah, was it awesome?
Ruby,
how are you so smooth?
I incited. How do you feel about his offer?
Oh.
Yeah, how do you feel about Dirk's marriage offer?
I said no, but he was too quick.
Okay.
Excellent. You guys finally head out of the Tailwind Tavern. I thought there would be more music here. Let me put on another.
As we get away, I just like turn to the group. I'm like, you know what? I made a mistake there, and thank goodness his brain was so addled. When I was talking about the Windcloaks acting weird and all that, he did not even question how I knew this information. I should keep that on the low, probably.
Not the smartest guy. Dirk Stormfist, not gonna lie, he has -3 to intelligence. He's just kind of like a big green golden retriever.
Please tell me that he was a -2 before us.
I know.
He had a +4 before you guys.
Oh, dang, man, we really messed him up.
Man, that fog cloud, he had to overthink, didn't he?
I kept track. No, he had a low one beforehand. It's definitely lower now. Cool. You guys.
Wrong 5.
You guys go out finally, taking in the sights of Nizari in the daytime. You get your horses all saddled up and ready. As you go, you see this is a very quiet, quaint village. Still kind of the same kind of like gothic-y architecture. Those stone buildings, which are made out of stone, kind of have that kind of feel to them, and some much more simple like buildings of wood and maybe kind of like regular green slatted roofs, kind of making up the tops of them. Very humble, I would say. Most notable features is in the town square. You do see a large statue of Nazir Ventus, kind of like looking a lot younger. A little inscription on it when you examine it says Nazir, son of Willow's Crossing, slayer of storms, voice of the wind, etc., etc. You guys go, and kind of on your way out, you guys see a little community board, kind of like a town notice board kind of a thing. And whoever can make an investigation check if you guys would like to check out this little board. Nat 20. Alok. You look, and actually you can see the spot where a bounty, some kind of paper, was ripped from it, and you identify this. You can, by looking at the paper, you're like, oh, this is the same paper that probably like these bounty notices were put up on. And you surmise that this is probably what Mari was talking about how Aramis's bounty thing was like ripped off. So you know for sure he passed through here, although you guys had confirmed that before. You look at the board and you see a notice for a local healer by the name of Draymar Laurel. He's like a wind cleric. Or a cleric of the god of Ventus, not like a wind cloak or anything, just like a cleric of that god. Kind of advertising, to those in the town that need healing, please stop by. Like, I offer my services pro bono in honor of the Storm King Nazir Ventus, etc., etc. And you also see a written notice that is like it's like a bounty notice, but it's been written out because a sketch has not yet been developed for this person. It is an official notice that says Draga Hearth, wanted to the tune of 5,000 gold pieces, wanted on suspicion of breaking into the home of King Nazir Ventus and thieving the Storm King's personal belongings. Apprehend at all costs, dead or alive. If found with a small gilded chest, return to the Storm King's palace for a hefty reward. And you immediately clock that name and maybe start wondering why she's out here.
Wow. His king.
A recent inn has opened up over here. That's crazy. Wow.
And definitely, assuming you as well, definitely clock like a little little scroll that's like, all hail to the new Duke of Palestrom, Duke Aaron Kalin. But you see that his name has been, the spelling is different. He had given it before as E-R-E-N. He's now spelling it A-E-R-Y-N.
Of course.
My boy.
All the aristocracy.
He's now
aristocracy.
The aristocracy!
Yes.
Oh my god, that's good!
So good.
It says, yes, declaring Aaron Kalin, the new Duke of Palestrom, presided over the Duchy of Palestrom, watching over Palestrom, Nazari, and Nostrum, following his defeat of the dragon beneath Kalin Manor, and the overthrowing of his tyrannical surrogate father. You see that. Yeah, so you have that information as well. I don't know if you guys want to dwell on that or you just want to keep moving.
It says there's a chicken that's been missing recently, guys. That's crazy.
Maybe we'll find Tomar.
Funny that you ask, Gallant. There
I
literally
have a 5
is
investigation, so
there
I'm
is
just looking.
no. It's funny because there actually is a chicken that's gone missing at the Oldstead farm. A chicken went missing. And
If we double back through here, we
the
might
old
need
couple.
help with them.
Yeah.
That's our new mission, guys.
Fuck the wind
We must-
cloaks. What happened to this chicken?
Yeah.
Red Wraith,
Guys,
Red Schmidt.
I will not be able to
Yeah,
rest
it's a
until we
wind
figure
cloak.
this out. Where did the chicken go?
Are we heroes or not?
I don't know why, but I feel like it crossed the road. Just like somehow.
But why?
Well, we would have seen it then. It wouldn't be missing if it went across the road. It probably went into the woods.
Yeah, across the road.
That's why it crossed?
Well, no, the road wouldn't, but like it could go in the back door.
What?
What?
I'm real confused.
I think we figured out why the chicken crossed the road. I think we solved the mission. The case.
Go
We're
to
all
the
good.
forest.
Okay,
At the
so
very
if you
least.
guys, are you guys just gonna move on?
Yeah, let's go to the...
Or do you do anything with that information, Alok, or do you just keep it to yourself? Yes, Ruby.
So the home that was robbed, was it like his home in like...
His home here in Nazar.
Here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as Mari had said before, like he has like his home is here, his like childhood home, and that he visits there sometimes, and it's pretty heavily guarded. So, and people come in there to clean occasionally.
When we were looking at the board. Oh, sorry, go on.
Just gonna ask, where is it? Like, is it close to us?
Yeah, it's definitely just like maybe like a 20-minute walk from here.
While we're looking at the board, does anyone say anything about it other than just jokes about the chicken one? Or
Yeah, I will say, you guys, there's just a lot of stuff here. You guys would eventually make your way to that bounty notice. Like, maybe Alok just clocks it first. More than anything.
if no one makes a remark, then I don't. So.
We already have the information. I mean, like, yeah.
Okay.
If we go to their house, that would give some information, but, like... Guys, I'm somewhat worried about the Windcloak village. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But if we do see a chicken on the way, we will stop and pick it up.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Roll for chicken? Just kidding. You guys make your way. I'm assuming you guys probably go check out that stash that Dirk was talking about.
That first.
You go there. It's just a little bit outside of town. You kind of go, take a left at this thing. Underneath this tree, you can see that there's a little, like, a wooden thing. You just kind of wipe off the dust on it. You can see a little imperial crest on it. You open up this thing, and you find 200 gold pieces, 4 daggers. There's a common longsword, just a regular longsword, and a potion of greater healing.
Alright.
Let's give 2 coins to Alok and Suma. Payback for the hotel. The end.
And then you two keep the other 198?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair.
That seems fair enough.
Cool.
I'll give myself a 50.
You guys want the daggers or the sword? I don't know.
I'll take the sword. I mean, like, I want a sword. I don't know how to use one. I have not been trained in using sword. But it'll look so cool on my belt.
Are we all getting 50 each, right? We're doing it that way?
Yeah.
Oh.
Brother's like, don't worry, I've made a lot of money on the gun, so...
Is anyone taking the daggers? I'll take the daggers, too.
I'll take
Not 1.
2 of them.
I'll take 1, then.
Never know what I could do.
Alright. And who's gonna get the potion of greater healing?
Oh, wait, I already have 2. I'll take 1.
Well, I guess Suma should take it.
I
Pretty good at dagger.
I could also take it. I'm just saying, like...
Gallet, do you have any healing abilities, Gallet, at all?
No.
Then I think
the
you should
dagger.
take it, because I have
No,
a
you have.
dagger.
What does the dagger do?
You have the dagger. The
You
dagger heals
stab
you.
the...
Oh,
Too much
Violent.
of that one.
So instead
Stab
of
for
one,
healing.
violent heal?
Yeah, and instead of 1d4 damage, it does 1d4 healing.
Wow. Is there like a recharge on that, or could you just keep stabbing yourself until you get to full?
I think it breaks over use, right? Or
It
something
breaks.
like that.
It breaks over time. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
I
so
believe I said
graphic.
it to. I'll have to rewatch the episode, but I believe I said 10 uses. Like
That's
total.
what-
Okay.
I wonder, would
Definitely
a
limited number.
potion of healing be affected by my bell of healing?
That's not a spell.
No, it just affects spells.
Okay.
Uh,
So,
Should we
Wait,
talk
what's
about the
there?
earring? Okay, yeah. Nice.
So,
Yeah.
I just feel like, so, I could, like, run away really fast and switch with someone, you know, that's always an option. I'm also usually in the back of the combat, so if someone needs to get out of it, that would help. You know, but at the same time, I don't want to go into
Hey,
combat.
Alok,
so.
if you're gonna twist my arm on this one, you can have mine.
Why did you say arm? Yeah. An opportunity there. All right.
Pull my ear.
Well, here's the
cool.
thing. If I switch with Ruby and I bring her to the back line, she's kind of slow. No offense, Ruby.
I can't. It's not like I've been complaining about this with a certain deity. I'm fine with it.
Okay, fine. You can keep it then.
Not
If you really want it that bad, that's
but,
fine.
well, I'm okay.
Like, I'm not gonna take it from you. I didn't mean to step on your toes. You can keep it.
I will say,
yeah.
you guys are having this conversation
cool
as
getting
we're
hit in the
riding
chest
out.
with-
Yeah.
It's so cool getting hit in the chest with an axe from a giant person. Oh my. For some reason, it did it again. My mic got muted. But basically, yeah, it's getting hit in the chest with an axe is great.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to try it?
Well, you seem to enjoy it. I don't think I would, so I'll let you if you really like it.
Well, I don't want to like hog magical items. I'm carrying a whole.
Like, I got a fancy bow. I got my
of
fair
healing.
share, you know.
Okay, let's decide.
I'll hold on to it.
Okay.
Okay.
And
cool.
Ruby,
You can switch it
you want it?
anytime.
I don't care.
I think it's good to keep it with Ruby so she can get around the battlefield.
It's gotta stay with Ruby. She has not had a good history.
Excuse me?
Am I wrong? How many times
It's
do
just
I
that
get into the fray because of you?
Okay.
I'm trying to
But
stay
also-
out. It's fine. You're doing your best. But I will be taking this potion of greater healing.
In all seriousness, Gally, I think I should have that.
okay.
Just because I can get around the battlefield the fastest, so.
Well, now I don't want you to have it. 'Cause
Okay,
we've already
fine.
decided
Fine, you
this.
keep it
Oh
then.
my god.
Why don't you guys both have it?
But
We would never get in the fray. It would be way different.
You know what, guys? Next
Wait,
battle, I
would
am
we
just
ever
gonna like
switch
fuck you
positions?
guys. I'm just gonna protect myself. I'm gonna run away. I'm not
Why
going
would we
down.
ever get into combat if it's just me and Alok with it? I guess I could switch with
Look,
Alok.
I'll
if
let
we
you
did
guys
pick it up,
decide
but-
because apparently this is more complicated than I thought it would be. So.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you're not committed to the ring, like the earring, so like.
Oh, fair enough.
So I feel like you're just sort of like trashing on it, and now I don't know if you.
Man, look at the
If it-
scenery as we're riding out of town.
Yeah,
Great.
I want to say you guys are
Is
like
that a
riding
chicken?
out. You ride out for the I want to say the better part of the day. It's maybe like rode out, got breakfast at the Tailwind Tavern, went out. Alok, your kind of head is down. Maybe your head is kind of filled with thoughts of like
There's no chickens.
what might be coming next.
Burger
You're kind of
plums.
looking. Yeah, Dirk does not know that his face says that.
I
Dirk does
want to
not
see
know.
that reaction.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I know,
Dirk
Alok.
has no idea. This action will have consequences.
Alok would have laughed when he saw that.
You guys ride out, and you see, it's a very idyllic, peaceful kind of landscape with these tall waves of grain blowing in the strong winds. You see there's very sparse woods around. Kind of on your way there, you spot kind of a woman in the distance who is kind of like just like walking, and she seems to be like walking with a limp. She's wearing like this strange black armor that you haven't. It looks weird. Like, doesn't look like craftsmanship that you've seen before. She looks kind of injured. It's like limping along, kind of like dragging a sword at her side, walking over, kind of trudging along opposite you guys. You guys stop by
Is
or anything? Or
she
just ride
is she
past
gonna
her?
like cross
Yeah,
our
well, yeah,
path
we're
at some
gonna-
point?
Yeah, it's gonna be like.
Oh,
this, yeah.
okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna
Ahoy
look at
there.
her.
Hello. Travelers, are we?
Yeah.
And you see, when she speaks, you notice that she has like an accent that you've never heard before. It's like a strange. I'm not doing one, but like the way she speaks common seems different to you guys. Maybe from a different island or something.
From atop my horse, when I get nearby, I will offer my hand to be shaken.
She kind of looks at it and goes, "Ah, yes." Shakes your hand.
We shake hands, feels as invisible on my hand, and I want to get a vibe on who she is and how she's
Yeah.
feeling. She has to make
it's a
some
charisma
kind
save,
of...
right?
Let me check. I automatically know her.
Your emotional
she
state,
feels.
but like the alignment
her-
and
yeah,
the
my-
nature and other
Charisma
stuff
saving
is...
throws. DC 14.
What's the DC?
14.
That's a natural 15. She.
I
the
stabbed
sense. You get the sense that she feels satisfied. You look at her because you kind of gaze down at her. You see that there's very obvious like kind of dents and like scorch marks and like cuts on her face, like on her armor and stuff like that. Whatever battle she was in, you feel like she probably won it, and that she accomplished what she set out to do. Like she like had a fight, won it, is feeling good about it.
Well, you're looking pretty pleased with yourself, even though you're injured.
I always am pleased with myself. It's the secret to a happy life. Are you, by any chance, traveling to the Village of the Wind?
Yeah.
No.
We're not.
No, we're just
Yes or no? Which is it? Are you all together?
Well, I wasn't the one guiding us. I thought we were, but it seems like Ruby has been taking us on another route.
Right,
So I
and
guess we're not.
you kind of notice as you guys, the rest of you kind of like form up, and maybe you see Gallup stop. You guys probably all stop around her. She's very tall, kind of very pinstripe posture. You get the sense immediately that this is a warrior. And she says, "If I were you and you were headed in that direction, I wouldn't. There are strange things afoot there, and you probably don't want any of that business. It's dangerous."
What kind of a humanoid is she?
She's just human. She looks human.
Okay.
She's
And
very
Draga
tall.
Hearth was
She looks like
an elf,
half
described
elf.
as an
A
elf.
half elf. Yeah, she's like 6 foot flat. Pretty tall. And she said, she says, yes, I would advise against it. It's very dangerous out there. Although you do look somewhat battle hardened. I would just perhaps be careful.
What were you fighting out here? This should be pretty fine area, I thought.
She looks down at her hands and goes, yes. There was someone who had something that I wanted, and now I have the thing that I wanted. It didn't belong to them.
Oh, okay.
And if you catch my drift, I had been tasked to retrieve it, and now I have. So, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. It was not a chicken, actually.
Can I make any kind of check to see, like, any... she's giving me, like, weird vibes. Can I do some kind of perception check just to see if I notice anything like, oh, actually, she has a black ring on, or anything like that?
You can make a history check, or an insight check, maybe? It's up to you, what you prefer. Any of you guys can make checks on her as well.
You said history.
Historically, she's inaccurate.
History.
16. I'm going to resolve a couple things. Suma, on a 14 insight, you look at her and you sense a sense of fakeness from her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the way she looks at Gallet, and she's like looking up at him because he's on a horse and she's on the ground. And she looks up at him as if she was looking down at a bug.
So she's doing this.
Does it feel like
that's
she is, like, her appearance might be illusory in some way?
With that, no. You get the sense that this is what she looks like. Yeah. Ruby, on a 16 history check, you growing up in Palea have been around a lot of smitheries. You've been around. You've taken tours of like blacksmiths and armoires and stuff like that. You've been around a lot of metal and ores in your life. This armor is like nothing you've ever seen before in Ela. The techniques, maybe it's made out of like, metal, the way that things are made out of metal. However, the construction of it, and you can tell the smelting, like the history of armor making that you know, and ore melting that you don't get the sense that this is Ela in nature, or at least it was not made by any kind of techniques that you are aware of, and you feel like you would be aware of a lot.
ask her about it. That's a really unique piece of armor there.
She says,
Where did
thank
you
you.
come from?
Where'd I come from? Somewhere far away. She says, I'm doing a bit of a tour of the islands. Very fascinating place you all have here. It's very quaint. I love it. It's so interesting. Where are you from?
I am from the Gallon Republic.
Really? Well, congratulations for living in the windiest place in the world, probably. She says, and the rest of you?
Lucky, represent.
Lucky. Yes, I've been. Very interesting place. Hardy people, very strong-willed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, and you definitely notice as she talks, whenever she says the names of places, it sounds like she's not saying it right.
Oh, well, yeah, she's a foreigner.
The
Of course she's not going
pronunciation
to
is
get it right.
definitely...
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely sounds like
She's
a foreigner.
Yeah, she obviously doesn't know what she's talking about, but you don't point that out. That's a bit rude. Yeah, I love it when people that aren't from the area come to visit, see the culture. It's really nice.
Yes,
It's important.
your whole deal here is very fascinating. I've enjoyed my time perusing everything. I just came from a very quaint little temple close to the border of the forest. I would recommend stopping by. It's very interesting.
Temple to who?
Some kind of hooded man with like a scales or something. I don't know what that was about.
That could be anyone.
Alok, when she mentions that, you know for a fact that there is some depictions of Terminus as a hooded figure with with scales.
Okay.
Like among, there's different interpretations of what that god might look like, but that is kind of one of them that has some steam.
What did she say? She was describing the person running the temple, or like art that she
like
saw?
a statue.
Okay.
Statue, like in the temple.
Okay.
And she says, well, if you guys are not going to turn around, I wish you the best of luck. Hope that you don't die. Although everyone does, right? And then she kind of laughs to herself and keeps moseying on.
As she gets a few steps ahead, like, have a good day. Oh, but one more thing. If you happen to be holding any more information, something that you might have omitted, could you just easily tell us? Just we're gonna be going on real quick, so like,
Save is 14. Natural 14. And I'm not gonna give away anything about her charisma modifier. She turns to you and she says, I would be very careful when you cast spells on little man.
Casting spells? Me? I don't know. I'm a sword guy.
She says, kind of looks at the ground, looks back up to you guys, and she says, funny. So much joie de vivre for corpses waiting to die. And then strolls on.
Attacker, guys.
Ruba, quick! What was joie de vivre?
Joie de vivre, it means, you can Google that if
Joy
you like.
for living, right?
I don't think I could Google that.
Exuberant enjoyment
Literally.
of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pluckiness, if you will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Darn it! Why does everyone call me plucky? There's
You have
other
pluck.
things. I got too much pluck.
Yeah. Does anybody else do anything as she walks away? Nothing's gonna happen if you don't. Yeah, I'm just
You should
curious.
attack
as to what
her.
she is.
I stabbed her.
Too.
She's
I slit her throat.
freaking creepy, but I don't have anything I can do. Oh,
can
should
make
we
an
roll
insight check.
our portents?
Oh yes, please roll your
also?
portents. Yes, roll your portents.
Aw,
I thought we did that already, didn't we?
I don't.
No,
Not for
new day.
today. I don't
New
think.
day.
Good? Okay. Okay. Well,
We
No.
could have succeeded.
How does the portent work? Who do you give it to? Is it only yourself?
You can give it to other people.
You can give it to other people.
Including enemies?
Yes.
Okay.
Want to travel back in time and use it on her?
What? Oh, no. Did she even
It was
roll
a
anything?
mistake to
Oh,
give
the
you it.
suggestion?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the suggestion.
It's
Oh.
fine if you don't want
What
it.
was
It's
the
fine.
what was the suggestion? I don't remember.
Basically, you've been hiding information, give us information.
Mm.
But
I feel like
it's fine.
the time has already passed, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for not reminding you earlier.
That's fine.
I will let you do it because I feel like you should have had it if you really want to.
You're fine.
No, it's not.
Cool.
It's better
cool.
that there's a failure here, so she might return.
Yeah. Perhaps someone you'll encounter later on. Cool. 10 insight, Suma. You get the sense that even with a 10 insight, you get the sense that this is a person of considerable enough power.
Mhm.
That maybe idly attacking them is not the best idea.
Well, you don't know that.
Oh. I certainly don't want to attack her, but I do want to know everything about her.
You can ask her name.
Fine.
You can
She's
hold,
Still
gone.
within
It's too
earshot.
late.
have hold person. So
We could have mugged her. Just put it.
Yeah,
I
look at
mean,
armor.
sure.
We
I
could have.
mean,
Could've.
you're on horses and she is not.
Yeah.
also, you guys got to take your books, so I feel like it's only fair if I want to fight somebody for their armor. That you got my back.
If you ask me to fight her with
Wait,
you,
you
I'll
got
do it,
badass
but-
armor though. What? You got like
Dude.
Normal armor. It's not really
It's
like.
not like that armor.
we're gonna keep writing.
Okay.
You
It was
guys
black.
ride-
The armor was black,
Wistfully
right?
looking back at her like,
Yeah.
oh, we could have attacked her. Oh,
you
what
guys
could have been?
ride out, and eventually, after a great deal of writing, let me see. Hold on. Trying to get a good track for this. That'll do. You guys eventually kind of make your way as you ride. The sun kind of, is getting high up in the sky now, begins its arc downwards as the empty grasslands kind of pass you by. You do occasionally spot a small farmstead or two kind of like out in the middle of nowhere, past maybe an idle caravan here and there. Eventually you kind of get into you begin to see kind of like in the distance, these very tall trees with these blue leaves like you had seen before, Gallet through Fields' eyes, and kind of as that comes into focus, you also come upon a very large. There's like a couple of roads that kind of like diverge into different parts of the forest, but the main road leads directly to this large temple. In Alok, from a distance, even from a distance, you recognize this as a temple of the god Terminus. As you guys approach, it's definitely in the style of the other buildings in Palestrom that you've seen so far, like very gothic architecture, like nice facades and stained glass. There are these statues of Terminus with like as a hooded figure carrying scales. The grass around it, this grassland grass is like diligently cut short, and you see kind of as you look past, like there is a very almost like perfect line between. It's like the grass is green, and then after this exact direct line, the grass is this like shade of like bluish teal as it goes closer to the forest, to the wall of trees that comprise the forest of the wind. You see the stone of this half of it, like kind of the front half that you were approaching, has been dyed or perhaps stained like a light shade of green, and the steps that lead up to it are like perfectly bisected with a line 1 tile wide of symbols in Celestial that go up the steps. You don't see the back half of the building. Yes.
Out of character. Why are we going here?
It's just in the way.
Okay, because I thought there was another path that we could go to instead. Like, right.
You just ride up. You ride up, and it's like immediately in view. You could just veer off to the side if you want. It's just very big, so you can see it from the distance, but you can take a different path.
So is it like the path goes directly up to the front of it, or like the path's going this way, and it's just like, oh, hey, it's a little thing right here on the side of the path?
Kind of like a little bit ahead of it. There are paths that go off to the side.
Gotcha.
Like that,
okay.
As if they're leaving from the temple, they could go in a different route.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, the crossroads happens closer to it than further away from it. If that makes sense. So when you ride up to it, it's definitely like in kind of full view, kind of just like in this borderline of these two like different grass turfs clashing. Which path? There's like there's 5 paths in total. One there's the middle one that leads to the temple. 2 on its side that seems like snake this way towards the village, and then 2 more that kind of like seem to like split off into more paths out that way. As far as you know, any of the paths ahead of you would probably lead into the forest. The fastest is definitely down the middle, but probably the 2 on immediately to the sides of it would be pretty quick as well.
Well, Alok, I mean, you know, maybe you want to show up.
We could take one of the ones that goes around it. Yeah.
You sure you don't want to go to the temple?
Yeah. Yeah, we can go around it.
Insight check. He's being weirdly cagey.
Go for it.
I'm not trusting anyone today. Let's see. Oh, I got you. A 12.
Yeah, it's like he has no charisma. He's definitely like nervous to go there. He's like maybe a little bit anxious about it, and that's why he wants to go around it. He's maybe uncomfortable too. Yeah. We can
No, we should definitely go straight through it.
I think we should.
I mean, like, let's be honest. Let's think about this also strategically. She said we should check in on this, and she seems like the person that's like, "Ooh, maybe I did something here." Or,
well, what if we end up getting some sort of mission, and then we can't get to Aramis in time because we end up getting stuck with other stuff? Maybe
then we won't do the mission.
The less social interaction possible, the better.
Oh, there's no social Okay, you said it yourself. This is a pretty like a low key religion, right?
I don't think I said that.
I'm pretty almost positive you said hipster religion.
I definitely didn't say that.
I start trotting into the temple with my horse.
Okay.
There is like a kind of like a side thing that the courses can go to ascend up. Also, 2 perfectly delineated paths. Alok, you can go totally around if you want to.
I'll follow them.
There are other paths.
So cool in here, Alok. Oh my goodness, so
your voice
I know what it's like.
You go inside. You are the first one in, Gallet, and you come into this giant like chamber. The door is like very tall and like wide open, and it's set up in such a way that you can, if you look through this door, you can see all the way to the opposite end of the temple, kind of like in a straight line. And through the other side, you begin to you can get a good view of like the kind of the entry path into the forest, with like these thick dark trunks going up into the sky, and these leaves. In this cathedral, it's very high ceilings. In the very center of it is an archway, like a huge wooden archway that there's no walls on the other side of it or anything like that. It's just platform and then an archway like this, and there's like candles lit around it, and there are several like benches kind of on this side. You see that in the exact split line where the grass would be split, it kind of also splits the architecture, where on this side, closer to Palestrom, it's like this kind of light green stained stone. On the other side, it's like ivy and moss covered, and like with kind of the same kind of a tinge of blue that kind of like is prevalent in the forest. You see kind of on these pews, there are some of these like, priest looking or like devotee looking guys, but it's not a lot. It seems to be a pretty relatively understaffed temple as a low-key religion. But you do see something very interesting as you pass through. You see that like people, as they're passing through this archway, kind of like kneel in the middle and like apparently make a prayer very quickly, and keep going. On the other side, you see a cluster of people who are all wearing very similar robes to that you saw Valere wearing. And I think that everybody sees this as they kind of ride into the temple.
Lock, is this normal?
Alok is currently head down, hood overhead.
Yeah, make a self check.
Okay, yeah. Not like obviously trying to hide, but trying to keep low key.
Keeping like a low profile.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you are like really the least noticeable person here because everybody else is like, wow, this place is so. In the temple, they're like, wow, this place is great.
They must not clean it often. There's moss on this over here too. Oh, that's.
So is this normal? Like they're what they're wearing and all that?
I guess everybody make a perception check, or you can make a perception check, Ella, if you like, with advantage.
Would that be perception,
or I guess investigation or insight? Investigation is fine.
Oh, no, I mean, I meant like, would it be history to know if this is normal for like what they would do?
Oh, what they would do?
Or like what they're wearing and all that. Like I don't know if.
I would say just perception or investigation. I see investigation is probably best here.
Okay. Well.
On a 21, you can probably surmise that there's a cluster of people there. You look over, this seems to be like a group of wind elves or elves from the village of the wind, who are maybe like taking sanctuary at this temple. You definitely feel like it's weird for them to be in this temple for whatever reason, because they worship a very different god. But they seem to be they seem to be more like the older folks. You don't see any wind cloaks except this one like older wind elf who's like an old lady, old even like for an elf, kind of like hunched over, looking pretty stressed out, kind of like talking to some kids, and I think you can see just trying to like cheer them up. And you see that there are a cluster of maybe like priests or like monks of the temple. We're kind of like looking over at them, and you can tell that they are internally asking Terminus for guidance as to, do we take these people in, continue to shelter them, or do we kick them out?
Yeah, Gala, they're not here to worship. They're definitely here for safety or shelter.
So this is probably the wind cloaks that were attacked then.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it just seems like the elderly, so maybe it's just those who can't take care of themselves. Well, the elderly and the kids.
I'll just start trotting forward.
Yeah, you guys go along, and you see that the priest kind of like gesture towards the archway to have you pass underneath it. And briefly, I mean, I feel none of you but Alok would probably have any type of feeling towards this place, but you do feel a slight, maybe a little chill run down your back briefly as you cross the exact center point of the archway into this other side. You stop by. Who approaches the elder? Dalek? Anybody else? Or is everybody else hanging back?
I'll come up behind Gallet.
Yeah, you see Rel kind of like stays behind on the other side of the temple. I think he also clocks who these people are, and maybe feels some type of way about showing himself. Although he is disguised still. You guys come up, and you see this elder wind elf looks up. She's like very short. Her wind cloak kind of drapes down to her feet, and it is also like black and like corrupted looking. And you can tell that she is like doing everything she can to kind of like hold her abilities in check. She looks up. She's surrounded by children who are like running around and like, when are we gonna go back? I miss home. That kind of thing. And she has to continuously be like, hush now, children. You must not disturb the people of this temple. They are giving us shelter for the moment. Please, okay? And you guys walk up. And you guys just say hello.
Yeah. Hey, ma'am, are you doing all right?
She looks up and she says, "Oh, hello, traveler. No. We are not all right. And she looks around at kind of like these kind of like older and less capable members of the clan, kind of like sitting in these temples, feeling very out of place. And she says, "Has news already traveled of what happened in our village?"
Not yet, but we met a traveler on the side of the road, tall human woman, and it seems like she might have seen something. She said we should check on by, and I see that your wind cloaks with wind cloaks that don't seem to work anymore, and I was just wondering what happened.
She shakes her head. She says, "My name is Lerel," and I will type that. You can make some guesses as to how this one's spelled.
Wait, yeah, I wonder.
I got it right. Woo.
And she says, "I've been the matriarch of this tribe for 700 years. Old even for an elf." And she says, "In all my time, nothing like this has ever happened. There are, of course, creatures in the forest, although we and they have always lived in a sense of harmony. All of us rely on the wind for our survival and our thriving, and something happened to disrupt that balance. They became aggressive and frightfully strong, and they descended upon the village. We had just begun setting up our homes for the time being, and they struck. It took most of our strongest remaining warriors to fight them off after Nazaire had commissioned most of them to his court. Luckily, one of our strongest and finest happened to return to the tribe the other day. Yes. How do you know Valaire's name?
I've met her before. I heard she was in the area.
Yes, auspicious indeed. And you see she says she was with an outsider, and if your words are as true as they seem, it seems that there was another one in the forest, and such things are the reason why we do not appreciate outsiders in our midst.
Were they there before the attack, or did they happen to come by afterwards?
I never saw the human woman which you speak of, but Valere and her companion did come. We forbade her from bringing him in, and so he stayed outside of the village, but always within sight. Strange man.
He's no longer here, I assume.
He went with Valere. She took a contingent of the few warriors we had left in the village and sought out to fix whatever problem it is that caused the forest to turn against us. I am unsure what it is, but I worry.
Yeah, the things that attacked you, did they happen to have any markings on them?
Markings? Yes. They had these strange carvings in them. I'd never seen that before. There are lots of different creatures in the village, of course. All of them reliant on the wind for survival, but they are all relatively peaceful. Harmony is one of the things that makes the forest work as it does. I'm unsure what caused them to become so aggressive, but these weren't fiends or anything of the like. They were just the normal fauna and creatures that inhabit the village, and they just grew aggressive.
Me and Suma?
Oh, pardon me. Sorry. The markings on these creatures, did they look something like exposition about Dirk's runes.
I silent image to fit what she's saying. And
yeah. You see a little girl, like kind of like drops in, like pushed by the air, like it's like wild burst of like wind magic. She goes, ooh, yes, that is. I saw them. There were a bunch of squirrels that had that, except they were really big.
Oh, really? Oh, tell me all about them. Tell me all.
Okay. So I was going over to camp, and Mommy told me to set up the stuff inside of the house, and so I brought it in, and then I saw on the window, everything went dark, right? And it was like nighttime already, and it was dark. But then I saw on the window there was, so there are like normally like squirrels in the area. They're like have like blue fur, and they have these like little like flappy things, and they like glide on the wind and stuff, and it helps them like kind of like eat bugs. But this one was like really angry and mean, and it had its back turned, and I saw those markings on its back, like kind of on its fur. And then it tried to eat me.
Oh, it ate you all the way up. Oh goodness.
Yeah, I'm eating right now, actually.
Well, that's so scary. You're so brave for facing that.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came back from the dead. It's very good. What was your name?
Oh, my name is Sarah. Saira.
Dang it.
Excellent. Sarah, thank you. That's so helpful. Thank you.
I'm gonna run out of these at some point. And I'm Derek. And she goes, and you see Laurel, the elder, goes, "Run along now, Sarah." She turns over to you folk, and finally, you see Aurelius, step up. And you see he gets off his horse, walks up to the elder, and bows very deeply, raises himself up, and you see he does like something across his forehead and nods at the elder, and you see she stands. She says, "Aurelius Windseer, back to visit the village. This is a time of much change indeed." And you see Rel goes, "Yes, elder. These are my traveling companions. They are very formidable warriors, and perhaps they may be of aid in solving the problem." You see, he nods, kind of like looks at you guys. Like, I can speak to their skill and ability in combat. They're very fierce warriors. And Laurel turns to you guys and says, is that in your interest to help defend the village?"
It would be a horrible thing if, something happened to the Stormcloaks. Or the Windcloaks, I should say, did.
He says, "You are very strange, Lord. Most outsiders who come to the Village of the Wind seek our knowledge, our abilities. They seek to exploit or advance themselves using the things which we hold sacred, but you come here for altruism. Rare for outsiders. Rarer even still for those not of Galen. Though perhaps these are changing times." She says, "I'm concerned for the Weavers. If this continues, they may be in danger. And if they are in danger, all of us from the Village of the Wind will lose our connection to this place. If you encounter the Silk Mother, she would be the largest of these creatures. Protect her. Make sure that she lives. As long as she lives, her brood will be able to continue the lineage. If she dies, then the tribe as we know it will not be able to continue. Yes.
Do you know where Valere took her outfit?
Yes. Well, knowing my daughter, she probably ran
Oh!
straight into the center of the forest to check in on the Silk Mother. But I worry for her. Her powers have been dampened as well as the rest of us. She will not be fighting at her full strength. And I do not know if I trust the outsider she traveled with.
So, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were Valaire's mother.
Yes.
Ah, that's not that's good to see. I'm happy
Good to see. What does that mean? What do you mean good to see?
Yeah, well, I never met. We never met.
You're a very strange man. Do we know each other? Should we have met by now?
Oh no, I've heard about you. You sound like a nice woman. And as I say that, although probably means nothing to him because he's lost his memory, I'm just gonna, just behind my back, cast Unseen Servant, just so he can see his mom.
You cast Unseen Servant. Aliceris appears out of the ring. Alok, you see him as he is, wearing the same garb, wind cloak garb, wind elf garb, as the other people in this tribe. And you see he stands there staring at his mother, and it feels like something inside of him is like having a revelation that is being blocked, like a dam holding back a huge amount of water. And it's like he's like frozen in place, like he wants to say or do something, but he doesn't know how to, or doesn't know what to do. I think Gallet, you kind of get a sense of this as well, but you don't have the resolution that Alok does.
Yeah, then we're probably gonna be headed her way. We'll go to the Silk Mother if you can give us directions. We want anything bad to happen.
You see, a kind of the kids like go, oh, we can help, we can help, we can help. And you see one of them like plops down a big map. We've been mapping the forest, okay? So, you can borrow this, but you have it, give it back, okay?
Okay.
And it's like it's pretty like well drawn for a bunch of like 10-year-olds. And it's like charts kind of like the known paths. So like kind of from each outpost that they would stay at in their like kind of pilgrimage, as the closest path from each one of those, and they kind of chart a path for you. And they go, it might be hard for you guys to get there though because there's not a whole lot of stairs around, and you probably can't use the wind to get up to like the bridges and stuff. So you might want to go on foot. And they kind of draw a chart on foot, to kind of get to where the Smoke Mother might be nesting. Cool. They give you that information. And Lorel is kind of just watching you guys, and she says, "Should you succeed in this endeavor, our tribe would owe you our lives. Do you understand?"
Not really, but still gonna do it.
She shakes her head. She says, "We believe in justice. We believe in just compensation. Is there any way that we might repay you?"
Someday, a bit in the future, you'll be needed. And when that comes, bring everyone that can. To do another good deed. As one begets another.
The world always requires the help of the wind, I see. And she goes over to Aurelius and she says, "Come, child. As your friends go off, I need to have a conversation with you." And she takes Aurelius off to one side. The gateway is open for you guys to proceed deeper into the forest.
Or must use the restroom.
Yeah. Or you guys could just like mess around. Alok, do you do anything while you're in here, or are you deliberately trying not to do anything here?
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, you're just trying to keep to yourself as much as possible.
Yeah.
you definitely feel some kind of response from your amulet while you're in here.
What do you? In what way?
Like it's like pulsating with a kind of energy, as if it recognizes that this is a holy place of Terminus.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do anything with that.
Yeah. You do not have to.
I will be back
Cool.
as well.
Oh, looks like we're all taking a bit of a break.
This is all recorded, by the way, so
What?
hope you weren't ashamed. This is all recorded, by the way, so hope you weren't ashamed of those dance moves.
Oh yeah, I just remembered that. I
Let's
just remembered that this was all recorded.
Let's say all the bad stuff we can about the rest of the group real quick.
Dude, they all freaking smell. Even though this is all online and I can't smell anybody, they smell.
Agreed.
Cool. I will also BRB. Yeah.
What happened? Did you kill them all?
Killed. Oh yeah.
Where did go?
I was like, everyone else is so weak. You and I, we got this. Like, we
Oh,
don't need
yeah.
DM, you know, like
Yeah, we'll just do it ourselves.
just typical fashion for this group, you know. So
Yeah.
Oh boy. We gotta kill some spiders or save them or something.
No, we gotta do the opposite of that.
Yeah, we're gonna not kill some spiders.
They sound lovely.
Did they say something about like a cliff? Right?
Are they spiders? I know they're called weavers, but do they look like spiders?
You said something about spider, right?
They were
They're
like
spiders,
spider folk. Yeah.
Okay.
Sentient spider.
They said something about like going on a cliff to get to them, right? Or like high up.
We could use
So as feels kind of scoped out, the Village of the Wind is built on like it's like a treetop kind of a village. With these like bridges that go. These are very tall trees, like 40 feet in the air.
Yep.
There's like wooden bridges between the trees and like ropes hanging stuff up, and like little huts and stuff built into trees or like kind of adjacent to them. But the spiders live kind of deeper into the forest, and usually the wind elves just boost themselves up there, so they don't really use ladders so much. So they charted a path for you to travel on foot through the forest.
Okay, so we're kind of in like Mirkwood right now. In the Mirkwoods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit of lore dump on wind elves. They have spider friends.
Love it.
Also kind of like Ewoks with their buildings.
A little bit. Yeah, kind of a lore dump. Yeah.
Wow.
This is your guys' first time going into any situation that's it's just the four of you.
Yeah. I don't think. Yeah, we've never had other ones.
I think Gawain died pretty. Oh wait.
Well, maybe no. We had Suzanne for that too.
Because Buru was there at the time, so it's never been just the four of you.
Yeah. And now we get wiped. We find out that we're actually just incompetent alone.
Really needed those NPCs.
Yeah, no more NPCs to die in one hit, or maybe tank a hit.
You don't know that. Feels has literally 1 HP probably.
Hell yeah. Yeah. You guys probably take some time. As you guys approach, you see that your horses like immediately rear up. They seem unwilling to enter the forest. You guys can try to force them to go there, but they seem pretty adamant about not going.
I'm gonna cast the beasts. Speak with animals. Hey guys, hey Lewis, what's happening? What's going on?
Bad things in there, man. Bad things.
What kind of things, man? What
I
what
don't
kind of
know,
vibes you
man.
getting?
It's giving me the spooks,
Shaggy, calm down. The other one's Shaggy. Shaggy,
man.
calm down.
Jinkies.
All right.
I
Well,
mean, if you really need us to, maybe. But look, man, I'm telling you, you guys seem pretty nice. We've been riding for a couple days. You're very gentle. But Zoinks, if anything pops out of there, I might throw you off and try to run away. Okay? It's nothing crazy, but like you gotta understand.
All right. Guys, I think this is where we're gonna lose the horses. All right. Can you guys just stay in this general area for a while, just to see if we need y'all? If we don't come back within like a day, just go back to that temple you saw us at.
Okay.
There's some nice people there.
This happens like they probably they sense this as you guys kind of leave out the temple. And so you guys kind of like walk the horses back and kind of get them situated. There's like a small stable there. And you see as you guys come back, Rel walks up to you for the last time. And he looks at the four of you and he says, "I wish you all the best of luck out there. Your assistance in this matter is very much appreciated by the tribe and by me personally, and perhaps the world at large. I know not what waits for you there, but you all seem extremely capable, and I trust you."
I'm out of spell slots.
Oh. Fuck.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Did Speak with Animals doesn't use it, does it?
No.
I cast suggestion.
Suggestion, and then I casted Unseen
Unfamiliar?
Servant.
Unseen Servant. Oh, is that not
Unseen Servant's a ritual.
I thought it was a cantrip.
It's a ritual though. You can.
No, it's not. I don't have it. Oh no, it is a ritual, but also I'm pretty sure warlocks can't cast rituals, and even if I could, I wouldn't, because that takes 10 minutes, and I was doing something in a moment. So either we take an hour rest. We already took an hour rest on the horses, but I doubt that. Or we just go in willy nilly. Guys. I don't know what look. Even though I use spells a lot, I bring up my longsword. I can totally I got that.
I feel like you use the rudimentary spells way more than using your actual spells.
Well, yeah, because I have way less actual spells. I only have low stuff. Look,
excuses.
Look, all right. The ring gives me abilities, but it's still without the ring, I am just a dude. I want you to really understand.
Look, either way, let's take an hour rest. I was just messing with you.
Okay.
Cool. Rel actually says, "Well, if you all are looking to take some rest, there is something that I want to discuss with you."
Of course.
Shoot.
Perhaps not in the temple. You guys kind of make a small camp to rest in very briefly. As you guys take a bit of a rest. And you see Rel seems very agitated. He looks like he's about to say something big, and he's hiding it so far.
You're pregnant.
Physically impossible, but a good guess.
I don't know how Windseers work, man.
Yes, well, he looks up. He looks up at you, Suma, and seems to look for a bit longer than maybe he should be. And also,
I start blushing, I guess.
Immediately. He bows his head and he says, "Inside, Alok, he is about to drop a bomb that he has very strong feelings about."
Okay.
Oh, it is Suma.
I've been in love with you for the moment I gave you the portrait. That's what
Oh
I did.
my god!
The harem continues.
Burn for you.
It's just
Join
I don't know
us,
what it is about
yes.
you. It's just I don't know. I think I've divined the curse on the ship. It makes everybody want to fuck each other. It's weird.
Lordy.
Simon, Aaron, Aurelius. Damn.
What kind of ship did I inherit?
Yeah.
It only works on Windcloaks, don't worry.
Anyway, only works on
continue on.
elves.
Yeah.
When our matron Laurel pulled me aside. She gave me something. You see, he reaches in his pocket, and he takes out. It looks like this weird glass contraption that has been kind of wrapped in this kind of like scroll paper that has these like runes inscribed into them, like these green runes. And you can see this weird green like wind, like visibly green wind swirling around inside of it. It has a stopper on it. And when he takes it out, you hear a murmuring from inside of it, like a voice muffled inside. He holds in his hands, looks at it, he says, I had mentioned before that I was meaning to do this once you all had returned, because if you guys had not returned successfully, there would be no point in it. But since you are all deciding to take a rest here in this moment, I will share it with you. I performed a number of prophecies which I had no memory of, but there are ways of trapping wind in such a way to crystallize or otherwise memorialize words that have been said, interactions that have been had, so long as there is one gifted enough to be able to trap it in a bottle such as this. This was the prophecy that I gave to King Nazaire years and years ago. I would like to share it with you now, if you all are willing to listen.
Absolutely.
So it's like a fart in a jar, but like for
Essentially, that is exactly what it is.
Wow. Wind magic is crazy.
I'm about to say a lot of stuff. I will be pasting it in the chat. Actually, I'm gonna make a little note of it and like share it to you guys.
Are you ready for some exposition?
Awesome. I will not write it at the speed of sound then.
Yes, I can actually
good.
listen.
Yes. Let me just make a little handout at first so I can get it ready. Before I read it.
This is where OBS dies.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Don't give us the handout until after.
The gist of it is that Simon is the big bad.
Oh, that's gonna be so much easier to deal with.
The red wraith is Simon's father.
Now that's something.
That would be cool.
I wouldn't understand the logistics of it, because once again, no one has explained the skeleton in someone else yet to me.
Huh?
He unstoppers the bottle, and you guys feel a wind pulse out from it. And you hear Rel's voice, but kind of like distorted, as if like there's like a double layer to it or something like that. There's something strange about his voice as he recites this, as if these words are not his own. He says, "The storm foretold will come once more, to end what it began. The scarlet rains will take the shores, to slaughter those who ran. The foolish few who tempted fate, diminished now by time, will kneel down before the weight of destiny's design. The wraith will wait in Laki's shores until his armies groan, and when he sails to bring the storm, he will not sail alone. The rusted shield will blind the wolf and bind her claws and chains. The frozen prince will guard the eye to crystallize his reign. The crown of winds will drive his sails and keep the ships at bay. The child of sun and moon will dance to the song the storm will play. Beware the calm before the storm. Beware the warriors fall. When scarlet mist is given form, the wraith will come once more."
Oh, Sumo, he was talking about your kid.
And that is the end of that.
I honestly blacked out after that. But that's fine.
That was fantastic.
It was beautiful.
I feel like that was really tailored
It
because it's
rhymed,
us, but like, you guys think it's like, imagine if Buru was still here. Would he fit? You know, because it's only 4 now. That's crazy, right?
I think
Fate.
Four.
Destiny.
I don't. Okay, can we? That's
It was-
not. Nah.
It was foretold.
It was foretold.
He stoppers
Foretold.
it.
No.
He stoppers it again, and as it goes inside, he kind of traps it inside there once more, and you see he says, I know not the exact significance of everything that has been said, but... Well, perhaps I will leave it to you to interpret how you will.
Thank you for sharing it with us.
He nods. Yeah. Are there any preparations or conversation you guys want to have before you go out to the forest?
I do want to do something. I had two things. First one, I take out a book. And I want to know one of the many facts from 101 Squared Fun Facts about Ela.
God damn it.
Gotta get some light reading in.
Hell yeah, let's do some light reading. Cool. You take a quick look-see through the book, and you get some information, actually. You look through, and it is a chronicle of a few of the failed invasions from the Claw. The interworking, kind of like the united efforts on the front of Ela's part. Lockheed providing its massive navy, Palestrom providing wind cloaks to help maneuver. The various casino lords and moguls
Casino
of
lords?
Tarai. Casino. Of Tarai, the kind of the kings of queens of Tarai, the royalty there, funding every operation, research done by the gnomes and the halflings of Castelmond, specifically contributions by Inkwell University as well as Ravenhall University, kind of like doing research as to better combat and like arcane techniques to use against the invasions. Warriors from the Far Isles, and definitely lots of Palaean ores smelted down into weapons to fight against the invasion. You spot an illustration inside of a board, a ship during the invasion, and you see that it's like an illustration of like a ship and like a bunch, like a soldier from Lockheed with like a wolf on their shield, side by side with the wind cloak, and then like a dwarf with a massive hammer, like leaping from the crow's nest. And you see they are fighting against a bunch of like soldiers who all wear armor very similar to the woman that you saw earlier.
Hey, guys, look! Finally, a book with pictures. I'm telling you, books need more pictures.
I want you to know right now, the way that book works on my end is it's 101 squared facts, and I roll a d20 to see how helpful it would be. I rolled a nat 20, so I decided it would be very helpful. Otherwise, it would just be like, "Did you know?" Random bullshit. I rolled a nat 20 on how helpful that would be. There you go.
Okay, so it seems like the Red Wraith's army that was mentioned isn't just the skeleton boys. It's also the people wearing those like black armor.
It's. Wait, where was this posted? Did you post the thing?
Oh, is it not in your journals?
No, we got it.
Yeah, it's.
Oh,
yeah.
I have it named as Mysterious Note. Let me put I want to name it as Rel's Prophecy. There you go.
Thank you very much. Okay, so probably should look at that too. But I just want to say, like, this is a really cool book, guys.
Yeah.
Surprisingly useful.
That was strangely helpful.
Sometimes it's useless. Sometimes it's just what. Sometimes it's just helpful lore tidbits. But in this case, I think a nat 20 would justify me giving you guys some more concrete information.
It's probably Priscilla looking out for us.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's the only god we've really interacted with. I look sort of sorry at Alok when I say that.
What? Sorry, what did you say?
Nothing.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just really looking at what Aurelius just said. So. In character and out of character, so.
That feels great to know that about that lady, since she took something from over there, maybe the eye. Oh.
That's true.
Does anyone have anything like backstory wise that they haven't said that would say they know the Frozen Prince? Just asking.
Frozen Prince. Is that Nazaire?
I think I met him once in my backstore. Whoa.
It's me, the Frozen Prince.
Well, okay, I could believe Frozen Prince Wilgardai is him, but it said crystallize his reign, so like obviously it can't be him.
I guess that's true. He's also the king, not the prince. So.
The crown of winds will drive.
Well, what's the cold place?
Edelheim.
Edelheim?
Edelheim.
Is there a prince there?
Make a history check.
I'll try.
Oh, we're thinking. I like to think.
On an 11.
No, I don't.
I mean, maybe. Lots of princes, lots of places.
Well, let me see if I've ever heard. Yeah, I might. You don't know. Oh, yeah, for sure. Maybe. Who knows?
You can try.
It's a republic, maybe.
Ruby, for some reason, you once, in your adventures, like stealing away and like reading books like what your parents didn't approve of, kind of like books from like other describing the history of other places that happened. Like a traveling merchant had stopped by and had some books on them. And you asked them to like take a read because your parents and your clan is very like, no, well, manners is mining copper, living in Palea, making good money, doing honest work. We kind of care about what we got going on down here. We don't worry about nothing else. In Edelheim, there is a monarchy, and the leader of Edelheim is known as the Frost King. And it would stand to reason that if the Frost King were to have a son, they may be referred to as a Frozen Prince. You could make a hazard a guess at that. There could be a prince in Edelheim. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So, rusted shield, probably the shield?
That's what I was thinking, but why is it rusted? What happened?
Well, it's fallen into disrepair,
Corrupted.
hasn't it? It used to be better.
Yeah,
That's
now
true.
it kind of sucks.
It seems like there might be some corruption going on.
Yeah.
Maybe by the Red Wraith, but it's obvious
But then,
that...
why is it blinding? Lucky.
No, it's binding.
It's not like bind.
Oh,
Well, it says
bind the wolf.
yeah, it says blind, and then
Well, the wolf,
Oh,
is that Loki?
Well, that's already happened. The rusted shield,
Ah,
which is Gawain, has blinded Queen Ada
Oh, yeah.
to
Ah, yeah.
they're manipulating her.
so that's
Okay.
probably bad.
And they're gonna bind her claws and chains. So eventually he's going to like do a coup or something and like overtake her.
Oh, maybe it means the rusted shield as in the corrupted member of the shield, specifically.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Something like that.
So that's why it's
Well, not-
specifically
maybe not
Gawain.
entire.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Well, and also Tracker told me when she replied that like the whole shield of Celestia, not the whole shield, but the shield in Loki was with Gawain and they were guarding the palace and whatnot. So it's more than just Gawain. Perhaps they're not controlled directly by the Wraith, but if they follow Gawain, then.
What about the child of Sun and Moon?
Well,
Because Crown of Winds is Nazaire,
Hmm.
right? Or Nezi, like I like to call him.
That's a good name.
I like Nezzy. Nezzy's super cute.
Alright. I'll call him that to his face just to annoy him. Nezzy! How you doing?
child of sun and moon.
Because at first I thought the child would be the lady, what's her name? Queen Adai. Ada.
Ada.
Yeah. But then seems more like that's the wolf. So child of sun and moon. What is sun and moon?
Obviously Suma.
I don't want to, say it myself, but
Yeah, it's-
I feel like
Wait, so
You
you have
know,
the sun?
sun elf, drow.
And then- Okay. Is she part of the moon?
Well, I think it's
they're
more
sort
just.
of tangentially related to the moon. I mean,
Are they? I mean, they're kind of like more related to the underground, aren't they?
there's
The underdark, not moon. I feel like that'd be the opposite of the sky. Well, either way, I think it just more so means, I don't know, bright versus
Well, there's some religious stuff that I think could imply. I mean, I think part of the reason why I thought immediately of Suli is because when she was young, and still to this day, we often referred to her as our little eclipse.
Sounds actually really... I understand that's a cute name. It sounds really dangerous when in this context. Little Eclipse.
I think that's incredibly
didn't
convenient.
sound scary until right now. Gotta say.
Suma.
So
But,
you're the reason we're all gonna
That's
die.
so dangerous to call your kid the Little Eclipse. Like, hello
Well, it
there,
was,
Armageddon.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I
cute.
know.
Okay, I thought it was
You
cute.
could have used like orange, something that's not capable of being rhymed with.
I don't know. It's just, how many good things happen in eclipses? Like, there's so
They're
little.
beautiful. Have you ever seen one? It's
No.
lovely. Well, you should.
I like
It's
how we're
quite
blaming
beautiful.
Suma.
Evil firebenders.
How
use their
dare you,
bending.
Suma?
I'm sorry, it was a long time ago.
Wow.
I have a terrible theory
shame.
that I don't want to say, which is that I feel like, okay, here's my theory. I've been working on this for a long time.
Oh boy.
Correct.
Is
He brings out the board.
Yep.
no, here's my chart.
I'm telling you, it all comes together.
Arrgh. She'll dance to the song the storm will play. I feel very scared that that means that she's going to be controlled in some way, or manipulated, or it sounds like a Pied Piper kind of thing.
Could it be Miela or like another siren?
For what?
Maybe,
what
and
thing?
I mean,
It's
maybe
song.
it
I
could
wouldn't
be a
put my money on
storm.
that.
Maybe it could be a different storm, but I don't know.
It could be Malin. That
The
if it's a
song.
song, but still.
I just want to say, out of character, I was like, I have a combat prepped, and then you guys decided to take a short rest, and I'm like, may as well do this now, and everyone's like in full conspiracy mode. I love it. I love it. Continue. This is the short rest, so
And that is tangentially related to the fact that Aliceris met the same fate as Suli many years ago. Still haven't figured out why that might be, but his memories were blocked or erased, and I've been definitely in a spiral this whole time about what if we find Suli and her memories are all gone also, and so I'm worried that they'll make her someone who she's not, and perhaps would be on the side of the Wraith, or anyway.
I feel like we are trying to make sense of something that should not make sense to us yet. I think we need to learn more.
It makes sense, actually, for me so far.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's still like a lot of stuff there's a lot of connections we're missing, and I feel like trying to randomly make those connections could be bad in the long run. Maybe we should just... It's good to think about it, but like maybe we shouldn't.
Let's just stay with the stuff that my plan, or I'm gonna attempt, if I ever can. I'm gonna screw up one sentence in here at least.
I think that's a good plan.
If I screw up one sentence in here, that means it's all null and void.
Well, I feel like that's kind of our goal, right? Like maybe we can fix the Lockheed thing with the wolf, or maybe we can fix the frozen prince thing. Who knows?
Or we have to do the... I've been thinking about it ever since we've been told about this 4 others that were just like us and everything. I don't like to think that all our choices were done because Destiny said so. I refuse to believe my mistakes were destined. So, I don't think this is binding at all. It's just something someone said because the wind told him.
It's clearly coincidence that we all met up.
Yeah.
Well, and these are only snapshots as well.
But also, just pointing this out, if it's not something that we can actually break, then we're gonna have to do the other thing that stories have with prophecies, which is it has to be correct, but we make it correct in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Ayla, go ahead and give me a religion check real quick.
Okay.
Advantage. Oh, never mind. You're good. On a 23, you think back onto something that has been said a couple of times about Terminus. It may have been mentioned in that book that you were perusing, but Terminus is often a god regarded as being outside of fate. Who deliberately chooses not to interfere heavily, really just a nudge here and a nudge there. And for the most part, he likes to maintain the status quo, like to maintain kind of, the flow of things correctly. But he does have the power to make those decisions. That can nudge one thing one way or another, even if it's not a huge push. Just one person not dying right here, or perhaps living long enough to do this, can make a big difference. And so there is a certain element of maybe not all mortals have the ability to defy fate, but there are forces out there and ways of circumventing it. Or at least that's what has been said about Terminus as a god. And perhaps that comes to you as you would look over at the forest side of the temple, covered in these ivies and like mosses, like go sneaking up the statues. Anyway, cool. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean, Rel is still here. He's kind of just been like internalizing all of this as you guys have been talking.
One more thing before we leave.
Yeah.
No, just right before we leave, I'd be taking out my let's see, glass tile, I think. Like I unwrap the mosaic tile I've been carrying this whole time,
yeah.
and just look at it for a while, and then, put it back in.
Got it. What was your thing, Ruby?
I was just trying to figure out like who potentially could be behind the like runes on like the spiders, or like on Dirk, and like some of the creatures in the forest or whatever. Because is it God of Death?
Well, wait. So
I guess just something to think about.
Galad earlier asked if the the cursed creatures was going on before Aramis got here. Was that yes? Like that was going on before they got here? I don't remember the answer.
Based off of what Laurel the Elder said, Aramis was present, kind of like he was like banished from being allowed into the village proper, but he was just kind of in the outskirts as Valera was kind of conducting business there, and then the creatures attacked.
Okay, so it was
Aramis went with Valera to kind of go sort the problem out. For whatever reason, Laurel doesn't trust him, but he is there, so you would presume he's still in the forest now.
I just feel like it couldn't be him, because unless he's backstabbing Valera.
Did he not
because
go with Valera?
He went with Valera deeper into the forest.
Okay.
But then why would he? See, the thing is, if it isn't him, then how the hell did it happen to Dirk? But
that's something different.
Is it? I thought it was the same thing. Like they're getting.
If we're looking at anything with the prophecy and it's Xandis related, very broadly, Xandis wanted Ela to not be alive. It's the Loki defying fate that kept this place alive. Maybe he's just got other people trying to help finish the job.
You think it's Xandis and the Red Wraith teaming up together?
Red Wraith might be.
It could just be some weird cult.
Could be unrelated.
Could be.
Or one single cultist. I don't know.
Xandis got followers.
That person did appear. That mysterious person in the black armor did appear kind of
She's the Claw. I don't know what she's about. It's just that she's the Claw. That's what we got.
So could she be the reason why this whole thing happened?
Possibly.
Yeah. Any of you can make an intelligence check if you like.
Am I intelligent? I am not intelligent.
Last one. Okay, cool. Alok, based off of what you know, I would say it wouldn't be unreasonable to think that, regardless of the Red Wraith, that people who are trying to invade Ela and have been repelled by its strongest defenses, might stand to profit from them being weakened. Wingcloaks being weakened, as they were instrumental in that aspect of war, especially on the high seas. Whether or not that's related to the Red Wraith or explicitly associated, it wouldn't be unreasonable to think that she could have been involved, whoever she was. And you will also presume that she didn't, if she would have had to leave, if it was her, she would have had to leave Palestrom a little bit before you guys, and have done so despite the embargo on travel, in order for the timeline to line up if she was the one who did that jerk.
Well, I mean that would line up though, because it happened about when Aramis and Valere got here, which is about the time that it would have taken her to get there. They would have left at the same time, so I think
it's possible.
Would make sense. And I imagine maybe she warned us not to go this way because she was afraid that we'd solve it. Maybe she wanted us to not fix the problem.
She also didn't attack us. Maybe she thought we were too weak, but I don't know.
Well, she was limping. She may have been weak at the time. Maybe she just came out of conflict. Maybe she just came out of conflict with Aramis and Valere. I mean,
those are questions we can't get answers to, unfortunately. At least for now.
Yeah, we can head into the combat that Tina's prepared for us.
Hell yeah.
I mean, okay, it's not like a spoiler or anything. It's just you're going into a forest with monsters in it.
Yeah, I figured. Spider-Man.
You can just talk to them.
Very Demon Slayer-esque.
Are you healing someone?
I was just
hit points.
Feels is gonna have 2 hit points.
Yeah, hit points. Yeah, figured that after a second. Cool. Is that something you guys want to do tonight? Because we can also.
Yes.
I got another 3 hours.
Yes. I am.
Run it down.
It's been too long. I don't want to stop it now.
Okay.
You know
we've missed 2 weeks in the past 3 weeks. I mean,
I mean, I didn't.
And then you're gonna drop.
Hey, 2 of us have answered though. What about the other 2?
If y'all are down, I'm down.
Oh my god, you're leaving this to me.
Come on.
It's only 2 in the morning. It's not late enough.
Come on. It's 12:47 a.m. Come on.
How long would this take?
I would say this, depending on how fast you guys fight. I will say we could get to a good stopping point. I think that it will take at least until next week to fully conclude this arc, kind of like this, adventure, I guess. But definitely we can get to a more exciting stopping point. I don't know, exciting, but
yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
There's another stopping point. I would say this is a stopping point right here. It's a good one. There's
I don't
another
agree.
one.
I feel like you're putting labels on things.
You're so crazy.
Come on, Vivian. Come on.
Well, do you? If you don't want to stay up, then you don't. We can obviously.
Yeah,
stop.
you don't have to.
You don't have to, but you're strongly urged.
What's the time for if we do the next?
I would say we hard stop at midnight, regardless of what's going on.
Okay.
Is that fair? Is that okay?
That's an hour and 10 minutes for you, right? That's like an hour, right? Midnight for you.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
about-
Yes.
Okay.
Just know that
Just
or
making
a little
sure.
over an
the
hour,
three of us
yeah.
are on the West Coast. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hour and 15
West
ish.
Coast.
West Coast. Cool.
West Side?
Okay. Excellent. Okay. You guys, finish up packing up your stuff. You get ready to head into the forest. The horses stay behind. As you walk, you definitely get this sense of deep foreboding. The trees, which I think when you had first seen them, Galad, through Fields' eyes, look very lively and like kind of quaint and mystical. They look a lot darker now, almost tall and imposing, like they don't want you in. As you guys approach the forest, you feel a sense of hostility emerging from all within it. You guys gonna follow the path that the children of the village kind of set out for you. As you approach, you do hear like crackles and like the crunching of leaves and things in the trees moving about. You do your best to keep your wits about you. As you approach, keep walking. At first, you kind of come to this small clearing. I would like everybody here to make a perception check.
Can I have Fields assist me?
Yes.
Yay.
13. It's like...
Oh, we were on
Okay.
foot, right?
Yeah, you guys are on foot right now.
Alright, I'm gonna travel stealthily if I can.
Yeah.
Alright, go on. Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
You...
Oh my god, where did he go? Where
First
did he
30 of the
go?
campaign.
Alok? Oh my god, that's a 30. You are literally invisible. You're kind of like towards the back. Yeah, can I get a marching order actually as we guys are moving about?
Sure, yeah. I'll be there.
I'm assuming Alok in the back.
Yeah.
It's for you.
I'll go second.
Although he is kind of like off to the side away from everybody. So that way, they don't give him away.
Well, I guess I'll be first. Yeah.
Okay. And Ruby
He's not
somewhere in the
third.
middle. Third? Cool.
I think
You
you're
guys
supposed to
kinda-
go. I'm not super fast.
You guys arrive, kind of walk past in the middle of the clearing, which actually the kids had like marked out for you. On the map, they kind of had it like marked out as like, hey, there's this little clearing here as like a waypoint, I guess. And as you reach there, Alok, you are being so stunned. You're like slinking in between the shadows of the trees around you. Suma and Alok with those 17s, you look up, and you see these weird like webs kind of stretching from around the trees, and you see that the webs kind of like ebb with this like strange like black gooey energy, like some kind of strange corruption that is like oozing out from them. And because you guys were looking up at the trees, you guys catch the shift in some branches of something extremely large and winged jump from the trees. However, Galad and Ruby, as you do not have your wits as about you as you are looking around, you are immediately shocked when two extremely like large, muscled up owl bears descend from the tops of the trees. And you see, perhaps you've seen owl bears in some of other like illustrations before. These things look kind of different in the village. You see the runes on them, Alok and Suma, as you kind of trace their arc paths, their flight paths. But their wings are much more pronounced, as the strong winds in this forest allow them to actually glide on the wind despite their massive size. And they, and they are going to get a surprise. So Galad and Ruby, you will be surprised for this first round of combat. Alok and Suma, you will not be. I'm going to transition you guys to a battle map, so don't roll initiative yet. Yes.
It doesn't change anything, but when it happens, I panic. and I swap places with Ruby, and the other one's still coming at Ruby too. So nothing changes, but we swap.
No.
Fuck yeah.
Super disoriented.
It makes
I did
sense.
not
Great.
expect
Amazing. So yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a smaller, not as big of a, it's not the final thing, which is why I think that we could reasonably do this in an hour. Yeah. You guys, let me transition you over. You guys can, if you saw yourself being a little bit further back than this, feel free to give yourselves some leeway. I think this one would be going for Ruby.
So we're walking down a path right now?
You guys were like kind of going through a clearing, like that was marked with a path.
Is there a way I could have stuck to the trees?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
With that nat 20, you can be wherever you want with that 30 stealth. You can
well,
have been wherever you want.
Without being meta, I just want to stay back a little bit from everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, you specifically said that you were gonna be hiding stealthily.
Mhm.
So that makes sense to me. If you guys want to be a little bit more spread out, that's totally. Oh, you'd probably be around here. If you guys feel like you'd be more spread out, feel free to let me know. Because I don't know if you guys have been marching like in rank. They're beefy boys.
They are so beefy.
They're real beefy, and you can tell that they have been also afflicted with the same thing that Dirk was, making them much more aggressive and imposing than perhaps they normally would be. Because you're level 5 now, and I want to see what you guys can do.
Hell
cool.
yeah.
Let me bring up the turn tracker. Feel free to roll initiative.
Initiative. Oh yeah, we're killing it.
Oh yeah, let me take out these old ones. Great.
Great Scott.
Great Scott.
Also, quick question. So, did my AC be 20 or 18 if I have plate armor and I'm carrying a shield?
20.
That should be 20 if it's plate armor and shield.
I think I just forgot to change it back after we did our disguises. Thank you.
1 second. 18 plus 12, the first one. And let me roll another one. So I believe Suma, you are first still. You are first and unsurprised.
Okay, cool. Alright, gonna start blade singing, and that's my bonus action. So I'm gonna scoot, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna whoosh around to its other side. And is it or a whichever would hopefully give me.
Yeah, I think that one right there with flanking.
And is it up in the air? Can I reach it with like a melee?
It descended and like very quickly. They I think you can tell that they have to some degree. Every creature in this forest has some amount of control over the wind, and they use it to just drop down right in front of Ruby. So they're on the ground, and it's about to slash at Ruby, but it's just not its turn yet. Okay. So you kind of maneuvered around before it could do that.
Yeah. Alright. And with my action, then I'm going to try something a little different. I'm gonna cast I'm gonna cast a blur on myself.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
So that is your action. You kind of what does this look like for you?
I think it's that the sort of dance that comes with the Blade song starts going so fast that it's like a motion blur.
Okay.
Type
hell
effect.
Yeah. Suma used double team.
Innovation.
That's bonus action movement. We're gonna go to this owlbear that's right next to Gallet.
Oh,
Gallet,
not gonna hit.
You are surprised.
Oh yeah, super.
Yes. So this might hurt.
Nah.
Maybe not. Yeah. Let me just double check this. I believe surprise gives you advantage.
It does.
On surprise.
Oh, it does. It probably does.
I just want to double check and not mess up.
It should. How about that?
A freaking combat thing again, because I always do. Cool. I'm gonna hit you with the beak attack first. 25 is going to hit.
Just barely.
And I'm gonna.
Dang.
Yes. One.
Why your AC is so high?
That is going to be 9 damage to you initially.
Wait.
Ow.
He was joking. It doesn't just barely hit.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
what? No. No. My AC is 14.
Yeah, no.
Definitely...
Because I know Suma's is like pretty high, right?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
if Suma uses shield, though.
Yeah.
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 And then the claw attack with advantage. 14 is a hit.
Yes.
Okay.
Just barely.
Oh my god.
Oh wow. That's gonna be 17 damage. On
It was
the second
fun
hit.
serving you, Gallet.
These are giant bears.
Really high attack.
Oh my
there.
god.
It's not gonna even move. It just boom, bashes you with its beak and then lashes out with its claws. And it looks very like in a weird infernal kind of like sounding tongue. Unbecoming of such a noble creature. Ruby, you are surprised. You cannot do anything on your turn. So it's going to be this owlbear's turn. This owlbear is going to, you see it like, its feathers kind of like shoot up, kind of like its haunches kind of are raised, and you feel a wind whoosh around you. Ruby, I'm gonna need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Hi.
A 20. Hell yeah. Great. You dodge out of the way. I'm gonna say you like moved right out of the way as a burst of wind blasts out at the spot that you once were, that would have launched you into the air. And that is this owlbear's turn. That's its action.
The easy one.
Yeah.
Do you want to switch places? We can switch
Yeah,
places.
switch.
It's not a low save. Alok, your turn.
Is this like dim light or darkness, this force?
I would say it's definitely dim light right now.
Okay, in case it's
Dim light
important, I have
force.
+2 to my stealth, so it's 32.
Yes.
In case, you know.
They'll see ya.
It should, yeah.
You definitely have advantage.
Yeah,
You're here.
I'll pop out and... Oh boy, Gallet's getting messed up.
Ah.
Yeah, what's that green thing?
Oh, that's Field.
Familiar.
She's
Field's
invisible.
Oh, I thought you had tokens for that now.
I'm filling it out right now.
Okay.
But that's another time.
Either way, I'll poke out and I'll shooty him.
With advantage.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
my
2 crits back to
God.
back, I
Oh
think.
my
That's
god.
2 nats in a row. Yeah.
Oh, I guess initiative, but either way. That is
Holy shit! That's 34 damage.
That's my boy Alok. That's my boy.
Wait.
Um,
Oh yeah, it is. Sorry, I was reading that weird.
You take a hefty bite out of this thing.
Right.
It looks insanely mad, and none too happy about its current state. You
Wow. Okay.
Again with the same thing.
almost half of its health in one fell blow.
Well then.
Doesn't
Holy.
feel too good, does it, Albert?
Well, you know, there's always a balance of things.
Yeah.
natural.
Cool. Bonus action hide again, or what else do you do?
That is what the stealth is, and I am.
Oh, you roll stealth again. Oh, I just saw that. Jesus.
Yes.
Is these things... Okay, let me just double check passive perception.
Got it.
No, it's easy. You are not.
It is okay.
It's a 13. It's a 13.
All right. Well, I hide and that's it.
Oh no! Wait, no. That meets it. No, it sees you. It sees you on a 13. Yeah. Cool.
Oh right, I have a 13. Yeah.
Gallet, you are
Not my turn.
still. Oh no, yeah, it's not your turn. Yeah. Suma, your turn now. You still have flanking with Ruby.
Yes, good. Okay. Let's see how this goes.
No, it's meta.
I think for now, I'm just gonna Shocking Grasp.
Nice.
So, what is that? Okay, I'll take that 20.
20 is gonna do it.
Excellent.
Go ahead and roll damage.
And this is lightning damage, I believe.
2d8, yeah, 9 damage. You reach out. This thing is frozen in place. Cannot take reactions.
Cool.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah, since it can't take reactions, I'm gonna scoochy away. Far away.
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you are out of there. That is your turn.
Wait, but Blur.
Oh, and Blur.
Oh no, it doesn't do anything. I was just mentioning that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Visual effect.
It is now the owlbear that once attacked Gallet. It is going to use its action. Gallet, I'm gonna need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
I'm good. I have a +2 to it. Oh yeah.
Nat 20.
But
They can't do their cool thing that I added to them. God damn it! You deftly dodge out of the way as a burst of air pops out, and it's gonna stay put. Ruby, this usually works really well for them. This is kind of how they hunt. They drop from like a tree, burst their prey up, and they catch it in midair, and slam it to the ground. That's not working right now.
Sounds pretty brutal.
It's very brutal. They're very aggressive creatures. Ruby, your turn. You are now free to move and take actions.
Okay, and I can still move because like this guy doesn't get attack of
He does
opportunity
not
against me.
get attack opportunity. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
They
going
don't
to
have
move.
reach, do they?
I'm gonna move
Well,
back.
it can't. Yeah. I think their reach is only.
We don't know, anyways.
It's only 5 feet.
Okay.
Can I cast? Okay, I'm still figuring this spell out. Can I cast Call Lightning, but like a way that it captures just these two guys?
So
Like
it's a huge radius cloud, right? You only hit one
Yeah.
target with it.
No, it doesn't have a radius thing where it strikes, but I don't think it will hit both of them. I think it's like
Is it-
you choose a square and it's
5
all
feet-
squares
it's
around
5
it.
feet around a point.
Yeah.
I think you could at best get
right,
one
right.
of them, so they
Yeah.
have to be right next to each other. Yeah, it is. I guess what I was saying is that
Okay,
the
got it,
radius
got it.
does not. The 20 foot is the radius of the cloud, or 60 foot is the radius of the cloud.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then shit, I just didn't keep reading. But okay, I will cast it on the guy that has not been damaged at all.
For sure.
You have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Hell yes. Let me roll it up. 14. Oh, it doesn't have advantage. If that's just a 4, definitely hits. Definitely fails.
So that's 3d10.
Roll that up.
Did it have disadvantage?
On. Oh, I guess it still would be a 14. I just felt bad about hitting the advantage thing.
Give them the full strength. You wanted to see how strong they'd be.
Yeah, I mean, it's your call, but usually you just take the one on the left.
Yeah.
I'll take the one on the
I mean,
left.
it's
Yeah.
okay, so it doesn't hit.
It takes half the
Yeah.
damage.
Well, it takes half damage. So
Okay,
I'm
okay.
gonna call that at 12. I'll round up to 12.
Oh.
You see bolt of lightning, descends, and so long as you have concentration, you can keep doing that without using another spell slot.
Okay. Sweet.
Cool.
And then I will Does Healing Word require concentration?
You can cast 2 leveled spells.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I'm
true.
being good about that now.
You want me to switch places with you, Gallet?
No one comes for me. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, can I like prepare myself to do that if it attacks?
It's a reaction
you can
either
use
way.
a reaction anyway, so you don't have to do anything. You can just use your reaction later. Yeah, you will definitely be able to do that. And probably good, because this owlbear is going to the room. It's gonna boom, drop in front of Gallet. And it's gonna get flanking on Gallet and hit with advantage once again.
Holy shit.
I will tell you right now, if you switch places with Gallet, okay. The mechanics of this, as I believe I explained it, is if it was gonna hit Gallet, it's gonna hit you. Right? So unless you switch places before it attacks, so I'll give you the chance to do that.
But then would I make the dexterity saving throw or whatever?
It's gonna attack. You see it rearing up to slash at Gallet. You can move out of the way before it hits him, or as it's hitting him, is what I'm saying. You can see the rolls, or you can not see the rolls.
What he's saying is basically, as soon as he makes the roll, if that would hit me, that will hit you no matter what. If you do it right before the roll, it will be applying your AC.
Your 20 AC is no longer...
I'll switch right now.
Yeah.
I'll switch right now.
You switch right now. Okay.
Thank you.
That does not apply to Fields, though. So Fields is still right
She's invisible right there.
First attack, beak attack, 17 whiffs. Claw attack hits. It's gonna be, where's my other D8? Uh, 14 damage on the claw attack to you, Ruby. So beak whiffs with the beak as it's like, whoa! Because Gallet is much taller than you, it aims its beak where Gallet was, rears back, and then claws at you with the other arm. 14 damage to you.
It's within 5 feet, right?
Yes, definitely within 5 feet, yes. Remind me again.
Does the 16 hit?
Is it a reaction to do that?
I think it's a reaction.
It's a reaction, so if you use your... Although, I will give you guys this, okay? If Gallet used his reaction to use the earring...
He used it earlier.
Oh,
he used it earlier. No, so you can't do it on this turn. Yeah, good call.
okay then.
So you'll have to wait on that.
Still have it, though.
You still have it. You still have that use. Ilok's turn. You are not stealth currently.
Yeah. But I do not know that, so... I'm just gonna take a shot. That was advantage. Still really damn high.
Definitely hits.
That's at this guy.
Which one? The more injured
Yeah.
one, yes. Cool. Go ahead and roll damage. 20 damage?
Yo, my man Alok is like saving the day.
Ilok, loads up a short bow. Boom! Another arrow sinks into the meat of this giant owlbear. Still standing, but definitely much closer to death than its compatriot. And Alok disappears once more into the shadows. Gallet, you have just been poofed out of the way by Ruby. This owlbear can now take reactions.
That sounds about right. Suma! Why are you running? You're the one with the helmet! And then I'll,
Oh, yeah.
Asshole helmet.
Yeah.
no matter what, bad. So, I'm going to, even with disadvantage because I'm in melee, I'm going to aim at this owlbear with my, reservoir rifle. And I'm going to take 2 shots at disadvantage. So,
okay.
One, that's disadvantage. First one misses. Does a 15 hit?
Second one hits. A 15 hits. A 15 hits. Gonna roll damage for that. 4 damage.
4 damage.
This thing has been taking a fucking beating. -4.
Alright.
It is.
And
It's pretty low now.
And then Fields will go over on up here. I'm gonna say that she's heightened above this thing, whatever this thing is. And she's gonna make a singular shot on this owlbear with a short bow.
Hell yeah.
Fails. Make it work.
10 is not gonna do it.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Is there advantage from being invisible?
Oh, she is shooting from invisibility.
You are right.
Yeah.
You are correct. You are correct. I forgot she was invisible. That hits. Go ahead and roll damage, and it's a con save, right?
Yep, 14.
DC 14 con save?
Thank you so much, Ayla.
Yeah, clutch.
Well,
That's a
no.
nat 20.
Wait.
I'll use my reaction. Give it a 2.
Give it a 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
He goes to sleep.
It is poisoned.
It failed more
Oh
than
no,
5.
it goes completely unconscious. Yeah, because it's a 2.
Oh my gosh.
This thing is knocked the fuck out.
The MVP, Haylock.
Yay!
Hell yeah. That is you. Hell yeah. Clutch use of the portent. I love that. Suma, it's not your turn.
Alrighty. Let's see. I'm going to Oh, that doesn't really work, does it? Hang on. That just changed what I was gonna do, so I'm recalculating like the little GPS. Alright. Bonus action, Misty Step up to here, and then I'll use the rest of my movement to get I don't think I can get in flanking with Ruby, but I'll just go as far as I can.
Hell yeah.
And I will Flame Blade, I guess.
Flame Blade.
Yeah.
Roll the hit. You're not quite in flanking, but
Not quite. But let's see.
definitely gonna hit. Definitely gonna hit.
Alright. So one of the first D8 is regular damage and the second
Right,
D8 is
regular.
fire.
10 damage total.
Yes.
Plus your dex, right?
Not for that one, I don't think. Or maybe I don't know. Oh, weapon attacks normal effects. So probably, yeah. So that would be plus 3. So
Okay.
8.
13
8 normal
damage.
by fire, yeah.
Cool. You. This thing is close to death.
Come on.
However, it's turn now, and it looks over, sees that its partner is like sleeping, and it's gonna use its action, its last action, most likely, to summon wind underneath its companion. And unconscious, it really is not gonna be able to dodge out of the way. It is blasted 60 feet in the air, and is conscious again. But this thing is most likely dead. And that's its turn. Ruby.
So then, since I took damage, do I have to do something to make sure to maintain concentration for the...
Yes. Just roll a concentration check. You have to get over a 10.
Wait, roll concentration?
Constitution.
So concentration checks are made by your constitution.
Saving throw.
15. You still have concentration. Nobody else.
So then, is it still only on the same owlbear? The one that's in the air?
You can center it. You can hit the one that's in the air, if you want.
Or could I finish off?
Actually, let me double check something about call lightning. How far up in the air do you create the cloud?
Isn't it like 300 feet?
Says it's 10 feet tall. I mean,
I want to say it's probably much higher than that. I will say, even though this thing was launched 60 feet in the air, it's still okay. You can still hit it with that, with the call lightning. And I will say it has a disadvantage on the dexterity save because it is falling. It's like just got woken up by the blast of air shaking it awake.
okay. So
So you're gonna use it again?
yes, I'm gonna cast that.
I'm gonna roll the dex save. I clicked it twice, but it's a fail on both sides. That's full damage, 16 damage. Hell yeah. You, as it goes up, blast it, and it starts to come back down a little bit singed. But it is no longer asleep.
Okay. And then I can now do a leveled spell, right? Because that was just like reusing it again.
Yeah, you can use a bonus action leveled spell.
Should I do Healing Word, or should I try to like increase your AC? Yeah.
Heal me, I'll be fine. My strength is not in AC, it's in hit points.
Just heal you, right?
Yeah. Healing me would be the most beneficial thing. Thank you.
For healing. You're healed back up. Cool. Any movement from you, Ruby? This thing can still take a reaction. But this can't because it's like 60 feet in the air above you.
Yeah, I'll just stay because like I don't want to get hit by that guy.
Got it. Okay. This thing you see does not really suffer from falling because it just uses its wings to glide down. It's going to go out this way. And perches. Actually, I want to say it probably perches on this little stone thing. Perches on there. It's gonna look at you, Ruby, having used this lightning magic on it, and it's gonna force you to make another dex save. A point underneath you starts swirling with wind. A dex save for me. 16. Wow. Okay, you are, you dodge out of the way, you are unaffected. God damn it, my guys can't do anything cool. Well played, though. Alok, your move.
Yeah. I'll just, pop up behind the tree and take a shot at,
Oh, yeah.
At a big dude over here.
Yeah, I would say he's raised up. Yeah, I don't know what the range on that is.
It's, 80. I think
20.
he's in range, right? No. Wow, just barely.
Yeah, definitely in range. Yeah, that hits.
Okay.
22 damage.
Jesus, he don't miss.
The DPS is coming in clutch here. It looks relatively fucked up now.
And I'll continue moving down.
Vanishes once again. Cool. Gallet, your move. You are now no longer have an owlbear in your face.
Oh, this fight's way better now. You guys seem like you got that big one over there. I'm gonna help out Fields. And I just start running towards Fields because she's right by the thing. Let me see, and then that would be... Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna get closer. 10 feet-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And I summon the other dead men behind me. And I'm going to just try to shoot him.
Wait, oh no, yeah, okay, cool.
I assume I'm in within 10 feet, or do I have to get closer?
You're good.
Okay. Let's see. First one. Ooh.
That definitely hits.
And second one. Ooh.
Definitely hits.
So, Bob,
13 damage.
I need to
20
add
damage?
a 2d8.
Okay.
Alright.
Gallet, you raise your ring, and you watch the spirits of the dead around you raise up their wings as well, and you hear a faint whisper of "For Calypso." And then boom, 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 like an array of eldritch blasts pulse out. Boom! Blast this thing off of the stone outcropping, and it is down for the count. Gone.
Ooh.
Cool. That is your turn. Suma, it is now your turn again.
Alright.
Down.
I will try. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna get over here so that I have advantage, and I'm going to try to flame blade it.
Definitely hits. Both hits. Yeah. Finish this thing off. I think minimum damage would kill it. Because +3 from Dex, it has 4 HP, so Yeah, that's gonna do it. How do you finish this thing off?
So yeah, I think I don't know. It's not particularly special. I think it's just it's just my sword. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
You just go. You're
so
not even
tired.
cool enough to like waste any time. Like boom, splash it. The little scorch marks along its feathers as it boom, collapses to the ground, dead. And you all, after looking around, see both corpses slumped to the ground, and understand that the conflict has come to an end, and a silence returns to the forest. You guys look at these things. These things are riddled with the rune markings, similar to Dirk. But on closer inspection, you actually see a strange, like, series of like very thin black webbings that are like attached to them. That as they kind of like die and like fade from existence, the webs kind of detach and like slither away deeper into the wood. Yeah, you guys clean up after that fight. You guys learned that about these runes that are affecting them. And I'm going to say, as we finish that combat, you guys trudge deeper into the woods. And that's where we're going to end our session. Thanks for sticking out. That was like a little mini combat. That was very well played. I can't believe they didn't get to knock anyone into the air.
We rolled really well.
You guys rolled really
And
well.
A-Lock definitely rolled really well and did good things.
Yeah.
I didn't miss a single hit.
Advantage, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, advantage was crazy. But yeah, that is the.
Can you tell us what would have happened?
You would have been launched 60 feet into the air and would have dealt 66 damage. Once
Wow.
That would have been fun.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's like 18 free damage. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like their two attacks are probably stronger because it does about the same damage.
The two attacks are still scarier.
Yeah.
But also you'd be prone after. It was like a whole thing. They were gonna like jump in the air, do stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you guys fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great job. Great sesh. For those of you who wanna get some rest, go for it. But had a great time. I think we're kind of like back into the groove of things. So we're gonna do 1, and then next week 2, and the week after that 3. Yeah, and an off week. I think we're kind of like.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for a great sesh.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Great session.
Awesome.
Got to
Got
use
my energy
owlbears.
back.
Also, by the way, Chino.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish the story now. The story that I made most of a long time ago.
Please do. Fuck
I'm
yeah,
gonna
I would love that.
gonna definitely finish it now because all this is coming up.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah. Got to do lore dumps. Got to do a little bit of combat.
Lots of stuff happened this session.
Yeah, lots of stuff. I feel like the past couple sessions we were very much like we're hanging out. It was like a really good time.
We've been going hard at it this whole time. Let's just chill.
And I'm like, you know what? It's lore time again. Yeah. These things had more HP than the regular owlbear.
Well, yeah, they had like 70 something.
They're so big.
They had 75, which is actually less than max. The max you could roll for an owlbear, it would be 91. But the average is 59. I just gave them a little bit more. It's a little beefy. Yeah, and I even upped their AC, and it never mattered. You guys just kept rolling ridiculously high.
One day it's gonna go wrong, and I'm excited for that day.
I'm just so glad we kept the earrings, though.
Oh yeah,
Save your ass.
Like also, wow, great, nice thing. Me and Ruby are able to swap places, and if I swapped with A-Lock, that would have been really bad because I'm pretty sure A-Lock was half the damage.
Well,
if not more.
No, I mean if you switched with me, I could use my reaction to uncanny dodge. Dodge. Half the damage, so.
Oh, that's true.
Wouldn't have been bad. That's another thing I was thinking of earlier when thinking about it. But I mean.
Nah, I like this far more with Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like it. I got to stay in the trees.
It's basically constantly scrambling.
Look at your guys though. The 2 people with the earrings. It's a curse.
Great.
Yeah.
What the
I'm
heck,
glad
Stuma? You left. What the heck, man? You're possibly the tankiest one here.
Yeah, you got.
has the least HP.
I'm only the tank as long as I don't get hit.
Well, yeah, but you had Blur and you have Shield. Like, man, you can be really difficult to hit. And then you ran. I was like, with the Blur.
I came back.
That's true.
Afterwards, when the aggro was changed.
Stuma's surgical. It's like in and out, doing damage.
The
I definitely
doctor
like
needs
that.
to get in.
I like the Shocking Grasp combo. That's cool.
Oh yeah, Shocking Grasp always works.
It's
a really cool combo.
Yeah,
it's
I
really
like
useful. Really useful.
I also like that against metal people as advantage. It's like a fun spell. It's one of the cantrips that feels super cool.
Losing a reaction is huge.
Yeah.
Losing a reaction is very, very big.
When you lose a reaction, do you lose legendary reactions, or are they on a separate sort of thing?
I think it's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to be incapacitated to lose that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm trying to go away from like it's one combat a day always type of thing. I'm testing out kind of like doing smaller ones before.
I'm okay with not a combat each session, but I'm gonna be honest. It's so nice to have a combat on a map that I'm always looking forward to it. Cause like, look how pretty this map is. It's nice
this
and
is
blue.
Liz showed me this website.
Oh, is it
after
the one that I showed you?
Che and Peku, I think.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah, and I was like, these are really pretty. I'm gonna use these forever. So
yeah, they have such pretty maps.
Yeah, I'm just yanking them. It's hard for me to go back to my shitty like ones that I make.
As the rogue, I am the only person without spells. I love multiple fights a day because damn, you guys just pop your 3rd level spells all in one fight. Like man, it will it will outshine me very soon. So I like multiple fights a day.
You are not getting. Okay, let's be honest. You aren't getting out.
You guys didn't pop your high spells. You could have definitely done that, but we have more fights to come, so you didn't. Which makes sense.
I think you've been doing great.
Ruby popped her 3rd level.
Well, yeah, but that's one. I mean.
No, I used both of them because I used Remove Curse earlier today, and then I used.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Remove Curse.
That's fine. What do you do? Heal or something?
Cursed, huh? Huh?
All you do is heal. That's not important.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And cold lighting is a lot of damage though. 3d10 is no joke.
I'm gonna heal myself now. No more healing for the group.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Just trying to survive.
Yeah, no, everyone's tried.
Cool. Glad you guys liked the freaking prophecy so much.
Oh yeah, the prophecies were really well made.
It's delicious.
You always gotta love rhymes. You always gotta like, oh yay. It's not a real prophecy if it doesn't rhyme. That's my thought process.
Oh hell yeah!
Feels
Absolutely.
nice. Feels nice to kind of have a eagle eye of everything that's going on, because like obviously like we're doing this, but like meanwhile there's all sorts of hijinks happening other places.
Yeah,
so
there's lots of hijinks happening places.
I'm gonna read that like 10 times over the break, maybe more. I'm just gonna go through it.
Okay, recite it from memory next time.
Well, maybe not that.
Sort of makes what we're doing right now seem like less important.
Oh.
Does it?
It feels a little bit like
I mean,
yeah, we're doing this, but like it seems like some bigger stuff is happening right now.
Well, yeah, but we get to that eventually, you know.
We'll get that. I know. I'm just saying, like it's sort of like what I'm doing here, trying to get Aramis and all that, feels a bit petty now.
Well, no, because depending on what we get from it, it could be helpful for completing those bigger tasks, you know? Like
we're not stopping because I'm petty, but still, I'm just saying.
I think I'm looking forward to like dealing with Aramis and Valaire, like just like
you know, someone's gotta die.
Okay.
Someone's gotta die.
Someone's gotta die.
Man, Aramis is like a bad guy. We've confirmed that, right? Like he's a horrible guy.
Yeah, he's a bad.
Seems like a bad.
He's basically enslaved everyone on the ship.
That's okay.
One.
Yeah,
that's one.
And we don't know about Valaire. We don't know what she's doing. Why
she's trying to find her brother.
Okay, so it's just Okay.
Gives me.
So maybe we kill
Cersei
one and not the
vibes.
other.
Yeah. We'll get there when we get there.
Gives you what vibes?
Cersei, because she's like, gotta protect my family at all costs.
yes.
You know, like
My child.
but she does some like stuff,